sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. Adam will be here shortly, just so you know, probably around 7:30. Um, okay, so anyways, sorry I've been AFK for pretty much a week or so. Um, hey Charmaine,
Hi, Sunny.
miss me?
I did. This
Okay, so I've been at work and helping my husband all week with his windmills, and then my husband gave me his flu, so I got that yesterday.
that was
So
nice of him.
yes, I was not going to do a live today, but then I was taking all my medicine and stuff, and still sucks, but whatever. There's a lot kind of to talk about, really. So I figured, whatever, suck it up, Buttercup,
Mhm.
get a cup beer, and then come say hi to you guys because I know it's been a little over a week since I've been on there. So, anyways, good to see you guys. Um, well, I guess we should say some hellos, eh, Charmaine?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not, I think she said. There's Ben.
No,
No, is that yeah, Aspen? We'll let him see that later. He was running late. He said so he's on his way. He'll be here about, like I said, 7:30. Charmaine's in the house. Sharon Parker. I know Sharon's been asking when are you doing a live, and I didn't know, to be honest with you. Um, hey Jenny, how are you? I'm donating plasma. I can't pump my hand and text at the same time, so I'll be listening. Didn't you get like $75? Remember, oh, what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name. He donated plasma all the time for $75 or something. You know, the hacker dude. What his name? Whatever his name was.
Alex Voorhees.
Thank you, Alex Voorhees. I couldn't think of it. Anyways, you guys. Okay, so let's see. I keep seeing the same names. Da-da-da-da. It's a crime shame. Hello. Hi, Shelby. How are you? Miranda. Hi, Miranda. AJ. Let's see. Crafty one. Hey, Crafty. Sherry's in the house, and I think that's good for now. Okay, so uh, we have Sebastian Rogers we'll talk about today. I know there's been a bunch of stuff going on with that, including a little doppelganger. Very interesting on that one because
Yeah,
it really does look a lot like him, doesn't it?
it
Um,
does.
Suzanne Morphew, of course, the autopsy came back with Suzanne, and if anyone's been following me, they know that I really Suzanne Morphew. Besides Delphi, I was, like I said, Delphi I was following for a couple of weeks, and then I thought it was a pretty crazy case because they couldn't even decide which freaking um, image, poster at the time when I had seen it, and I was like, wait, what? Old guy, young guy. And then of course, Charmaine had sent me the Chiefs fans. If you guys remember that story about the three Chiefs fans who basically all died at the same time out in the backyard of Mr. Scientist dude. And then, of course, Delphi. Now, I can tell you right now that I am not up to date on Delphi. I know that Faith keeps sending me documents, and these documents I haven't looked at, haven't had even time to really look at it all. So I'm gonna trust Charmaine and Aspen to be a little bit more on top of that, of what's going on there. Um, so yeah, um, I think we'll start off, you guys, with the Chiefs, because you guys remember this one. Like I said, basically, the scientist dude guy checks himself into like rehab, and it kind of like pretty much died down right after. There was just waiting for the autopsy, but for the most part, it was already said that about drugs in the system and stuff like that. But anyways, I haven't watched this yet. I was just waiting to share it with you guys. Did you actually watch it, Charmaine?
I watched just a few minutes in, but same as you, I figured I'd watch it through with you and kind of react to it as we hear it.
On there, okay. Sharon says Fig was on Grey Hughes. Said RA confessed to ISP before he was arrested. No idea, but I believe you, Sharon. But okay, let's watch this one first, okay, guys. This one's about you can see it 5 minutes and 44. So we'll just see the up to date stuff on this case here, and
50 Americans die from fentanyl related overdoses every single day. And aside from that shocking statistic, there's the terrifying fact that many people who die have no idea they're even consuming it. That's because fentanyl is secretly added to other common drugs that users think they know how to use safely. So instead of getting perhaps that familiar high or even just relief from pain, they get a fatal surprise. And in turn, their families join a club of sorts that nobody ever wants to be part of. Our next guest is now a lifelong member after his cousin's death made national headlines back in January. It's a story we covered extensively on News Nation. Clayton McGeeney, David Harrington, and Ricky Johnson all attended a Kansas City Chiefs football game to watch the game and party back in January. 2 days later, they were found dead in the backyard of their friend Jordan Willis's home. Willis says he had no idea his friends' bodies were out there. Willis reportedly checked himself into rehab after the incident and moved out of the home at the center of the investigation. Police say they have found no evidence of foul play. An autopsy and toxicology results are not public, but reportedly did show that the men all had 3 times the lethal amount of fentanyl plus cocaine in their systems. Well, now the mother of one of those 3 men who died, David Harrington, she wants criminal charges filed against the owner of that house. Clayton McGeeney's cousin Alan says regardless of whether they're criminal charges, he just wants his cousin's death to save a life. So he's talking out about the fentanyl crisis. Alan McGeeney joins us now. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here. I just want to get your reaction to what David Harrington's mom is doing. She's calling for criminal charges of some kind to be filed against Jordan Willis. Do you think charges are warranted?
Yeah, I mean, I understand a mother's pain, searching for some sort of understanding and looking for blame. That's, I mean, I understand that completely, but I mean, I don't know if the blame would be on, I mean, I forget the guy's name, as Jordan, you said.
Jordan.
I don't think Jordan is to blame here, personally. I don't want to take anything away from a grieving mother, but I mean, Jordan wasn't much different than my cousin Clayton, and I loved Clayton, so I don't necessarily see an issue in Jordan's actions. I mean, he was right there with my very best friend, so I personally don't feel the same way.
Yeah. Police do say there's an investigation ongoing, but that there's no evidence of foul play. What is it they're still investigating?
Yeah, I haven't really been following it, if I'm following anything, it would be more just where the nation is. What is the nation doing? I don't necessarily think that it's Jordan's fault here. I think that it would be the society itself. There's not too much going on to stop fentanyl getting into America. You said it was 150 people every day died from it.
Yeah.
150 children, 150 kids. So I mean, what's going on overseas and what's causing all of the uprise in the colleges now, and how many days would it take to meet that same amount of life being lost? Like, where is the uproar for that?
Yeah, the autopsy report has not been released, but we know the families were told that there was fentanyl, THC, and cocaine in all the men's bodies. You know, all these, we see this tragedy every day. People get a Percocet and think it's just, because they've got back pain. People just go to a party and want to do something fun to get a little high. They have no idea that the drug they might be taking, the pill they might be taking, that it's tainted with fentanyl.
Yeah, drugs have always been a part of seems like a part of growing up. In the 70s it was one thing, 60s it was one thing, 80s it was a different drug, and now the drug that the kids are dealing with is fentanyl. I mean, you take some acid or some mushrooms and it doesn't kill you. Cocaine back in the 80s, you take a look, it didn't kill you. Well, now you take a drug and you're risking your life.
Yeah. Jordan Willis went into rehab shortly after the men were found dead in his yard. Is he out? Have you heard anything?
There's any contact I had with that group of friends after Clayton died, that was kind of the person that I would, with that group of people, that was the connection to it. So I have absolutely no idea what's going on with it.
Alan, what would you say to everybody listening about the dangers of fentanyl right now? Your family's been really touched by this.
Man, I would just like to talk to the parents. If anyone's listening, this is something that your children deal with, and your children, if they haven't dealt with it, they will deal with it. So, I mean, if thank you, Elizabeth, for putting it on your show and trying to reach out about it. But I don't think it's getting enough coverage.
Yeah.
So parents, it's up to the parents at this point. You got to take your family in your own hands.
Yeah. I tell my kids this all the time. I don't care what it is. Even if somebody hands it and says it's an aspirin, don't take it. You never, ever take a drug of any kind.
There's kits out there. There's stuff. There's tests. If you're a smart kid,
the tests don't actually test the whole thing. Right. You should no drugs.
Just don't do it.
No drugs.
Just no drugs. Hey, there you go.
All right, Alan McGeaney. Thanks so much.
About that one. Okay, so just quickly on this one, Charmaine, what do you think about no foul play, no charges?
Well, I mean, I understand it. I do. I know that here in Alberta, we had the first case of a person who sold a laced drug, charged with involuntary manslaughter. And that person didn't necessarily know that the drug that he was selling had fentanyl in it.
Right.
But it caused 2 deaths, and he was charged. So I think that's where the law needs to go, to make people a little more aware of what they could be doing and where they're getting their product from. And here, weed is legal. You can go to government run stores and stuff and buy marijuana and those types of products. But if you're doing cocaine or taking pills or something, you never know what you're getting. Like I said, should that guy be charged? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I feel like that. I kind of remember with Blaine, our friend Blaine, he died of a accidental overdose, and probably I think his mom thinks like it was a hot shot or something like that. But I think it's one of those things like, I think that they were willing participants, and it's just that the drug, whatever it was, the mixture, just.
And that's the thing. Like, you don't know what is going to be laced with it, and why people are lacing these drugs with such a deadly narcotic. Like, I don't understand what benefit. I don't understand, but I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah. Hi, Diana.
Tough one.
Yeah, Sherry, I think that when it comes to like psychics and readers and stuff, it's one of those things. I watch some of them, I do, but most of them I find are just a bunch of BS and shit. And so it's just, I take everything with a grain of salt. I just think that there's some what I deem as good readers in a sense, only because I've been read in my life, and I can tell you right now, like, she was a medium, I think, as well. But she was amazing. When I say, like, I'll never forget her. because she was so on point. It wasn't, like I said, I'm not an idiot. There's generalizing people, and anyone can generalize or read off of your astro sign, in a sense. This lady that I had literally said, don't, like, when someone says, don't tell me your birth date or don't tell me what sign you are, don't tell me anything, is exactly what she said. And it was just amazing. Um, I'll never forget it. This lady had a true gift. And I even watched her do the read on my friend, because me and my friend had both gone from work, and she was using names. She didn't even know us worth Adam at all. It was just, I'll never forget her. She was the best reader. She was like a palm reader slash, I don't know. I'll just say, like, whatever. So and then I've been read after that, and I'll say that one lady did another great job, like a really, but the other lady was very depressing, because she was like, so somebody's gonna die like within 5 years, right? And I'm like I didn't want to hear that, because then I start thinking, was that my son? Is it my ex-husband at the time, husband? So I didn't like that she did that. So I actually took her tape and I just freaking cracked it up, because I didn't want to ever listen to it again. But I never forgot what she had said. So I would say that there's two readers in my real life that I just would say had phenomenal accuracy beyond anything that somebody should know when you don't tell somebody information. So I take them with a grain of salt online, because there's a ton of them, and a lot of them are wannabes. A lot of them think that they are, and they're not. So I just look for ones that are more grounded in general. But when it comes to this, myself, I'm just going to use a straight old common sense. And I just think that, you know, um, I think that we all realize that some sort of drugs were involved with this case. And it was just a matter of, was it something that Mr. Scientist concocted? Or were, and I think really at the end of the day, it's just going to turn out to be that they were willing participants. Um, the drugs that they took killed them, didn't kill the other guy, obviously, Willis, but obviously doing drugs himself. And I think it was just a matter of, if he was guilty of, concocting it, is what I always was thinking, because he was a scientist. Was he experimenting? But I like to think that, that the police here have done their job. And I think in some cases, and possibly like even Riley Strains, is that when there's that little bit of sinisterness to it, a little bit, as a parent, you're always going to wonder, like, what the truth is truly, in a sense. But I think in all fairness, that they were willing participants, and they just didn't realize, or none of them realized, what was the lethal dose that took the 3 lives of them.
And we haven't seen the autopsy report, but it does say that all those drugs were in all of their systems, but it doesn't say the cause of death. So I always thought that if all 4 of them took the same drugs and basically the same amount, and they all were drinking whatever, what's the one thing that's different? The one guy was inside and the
Right.
others were exposed to the elements. So
Yeah.
without seeing the autopsy result, but I do think that the drug dealers, the sellers, need to be held criminally responsible. There has to be some kind of accountability and deterrent there. But do I think that Jordan should be criminally responsible for
Right.
buying it? I don't.
I guess I was going to say, I was, what, at the end of the day, I'm not the law. I'm not a police officer. That's their job to figure that stuff out. Ours is only speculation. So if the state has the rule that, if you sell it and you contributed to their deaths, I would think somebody would be charged. Obviously, nobody's been charged. I'm going to take their what they've done over anything I'm ever going to say, or even what the average person is going to say. If if obviously they haven't come to the conclusion that somebody should be charged, you know, then to me that is what it is,
That's
you
right.
know, because you're gonna think that by the most part, you know what I mean, like that.
Absolutely.
It's not like they wouldn't have looked into this deeply,
Oh,
you know, to see what had gone on. So it's one of those things that's very sad. Mine is my niece, and so sorry. I think whoever it was asked me. My ex-husband's grandpa died within that time period. That's all I can remember of that. So did somebody die? Sure, my ex-husband's grandpa. Um, but it's just a fact of someone telling you that you're not supposed to unless someone asks you first. You're not really supposed to give them that type of information. I don't think it's right, um, especially when it comes to readers, because people can, you know, like, meaning it plays a little planting your head, right? Because you're like, well, who's gonna die? So my niece, see, I'm amazed that my niece, who has done fentanyl and that mixtures many times, I'm amazed she's not dead. To be honest with you,
mhm.
that girl has like 30 lives or something. 1 minute she's clean, then she's back to doing meth, you know, fentanyl, all the different stuff. I'm amazed she's alive. I'm amazed that she's not a statistic, to be honest with you. She's overdosed multiple times. She's led this life ever since she was 15 years old. This is my twin's daughter. She's 30. Well, she's my husband's age, actually. She's 33. Yeah, Paige will be 34. And you would never know it, you know, like this girl, she could have been so many things, and instead she had so many insecurity issues that she just fell into this life of emo at first, you know, this
Mhm.
whole dark side. And she's and then just the choices that she's, anyways, bottom line is she'll be 34, and she's pretty much wasted most of her life with fighting alcohol, not alcohol, drug addictions. And sadly, 1 minute she's clean, you know, she's on track, and then she'll, you know, spiral back after about a year. And that kind of keeps happening. It's a pattern, and it's really sad. It's really sad, but you
It
can't.
is, and it shows you the. Uh, I don't even know how to put it, but they know the risks, and they still do it. Their addiction is that high. They still do it despite the risks.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm amazed that Paige is still alive. You know, I've always expected that phone call, um, because again, it's an addiction. And and the way that the drugs, like the guy said, back in the day, in my day, you know, it was mushrooms and acid, you
Mm.
know. And typically the worst thing that happened to you is that somebody put rat poison on it, type of thing, and it was like bad acid. um, Nowadays it's just like the fentanyl thing. I don't even know much about it, to be honest with you. All I know is drugs are bad. Simple as that. You
Mhm.
know, for any of this meth, fentanyl, this, whatever you want to call it, high grade drugs or whatever. You know, stick with pot, you guys, if anything.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, it's just sad watching how many people are dying from this. To be honest with you, I don't know what to say besides it's sad and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
We hear about it all the time,
All the time.
and then another one will come out. You know, another even stronger, more potent thing will come out.
Yeah. Well, there's car fentanyl now, or there
What is
has
it?
been for years. Car fentanyl.
Car?
Something like car fentanyl.
Mm.
It's something like 100 times stronger than regular fentanyl. Like this is the substance that police and other people, they're they're basically just exposed to it. They're not ingesting it, and they're having serious issues.
Yeah.
It
I
is
mean,
deadly.
you know, back when I was younger, I, you know, did stuff that was in my early teens, like at mid teens to like very early 20, like 21, and I'm 55. So I couldn't even tell you about that. I just did
Mhm.
never wanted that stuff in my life. Um, and so
Same.
I never paid attention to it. And the only reason why I even know anything about it is just a little bit because of being in true crime and seeing how, like, a lot of stories and different things, but
Mhm.
can't say I know a ton about it because I just don't. I just know that fentanyl is a very common way people are basically dropping left, right, and center,
Yeah.
and that. So, anyways, rest in peace to those three gentlemen on this. And again, if ever charges are laid, they get laid. Um, at the end of the day, again, it still becomes you're in charge of your own actions. I don't think that these drugs were forced into these men. I think that they were willing participants of it, and they just uh, overdosed
That's
on
right.
it.
They just had no idea what they were actually taking, and I think that probably the elements outside had played a part. Like,
Yeah,
that's my speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let this one go. So, like I said, rest in peace to those men and the families. Prayers to all of them. Unfortunately, because I mean, it's sad. There's no happiness about it. It's just very sad. So, we're gonna go on to the Suzanne Morphew. So again, if anyone has followed me, Suzanne Morphew, I'd followed for a couple of years until I was exhausted, to be honest with you. That's when I'd come over to Delphi, and because I was taking a break from Suzanne Morphew's, like I was living, eating, and breathing Suzanne Morphew stuff. And let me just, I think it's this one that I want to watch. I think it's this one. Um, I don't know what's going on with that, but anyways, um, so yeah, it was always, this case has always been close to my heart. So although I am like, I've been up to speed on it in the sense of, Barry was charged, and then the charges, they had to pull back on him because, they didn't have Suzanne's body. Um, and so basically they had to pull back because it was either that or risk losing, because you can't, of course, have double jeopardy there. So they had to pull back until, perhaps they found her body and had more evidence to charge Barry Morphew. Um, there's this, let's see here. What's the survey? Will Barry, it says, will Suzanne Morphew get her justice and Barry be charged for her murder? 92% say yes. Um, what do you think about that? Now, okay, so obviously the autopsy report comes out. We all know about the tranquilizer gun, and if you don't, there was the dart cap that was found in the dryer. And remember, so Suzanne, like, her phone was like ping, 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 pinging, and he was like saying that he was like chasing gophers or whatever the frick it was, like because he shoots, I mean, he's a hunter, right? Anyways, um, so in the autopsy report, obviously it's showing that like a tranquilizer was used, that something that would sedate animals. And so the lawyer listening to, is this the right one I'm on? Hold on a second here. I want to make sure I'm on the right one. Okay, so I have my ones open. Is this the right one? We might have to watch a commercial, I think. No thanks. Okay, wait. What's, it was playing, so I'm not sure. Is that a commercial?
BC Hydro.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us
Okay.
this noon. I'm Erica Lopez. Right now, we're following breaking news in one of the most high-profile murder cases in the state. An autopsy released today shows Suzanne Morphew's cause of death is homicide. The mom of two went missing in Chaffee County in 2020, and her remains were discovered 3 years later. Now, News reporter Mark Sounder has been following the case since the beginning and joins us now with these breaking details. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Erica. The report from the coroner's office says Suzanne Morphew had several sedatives and tranquilizers found in her bones. They're drugs that would usually be used to tranquilize animals. That's a major development in this case because prosecutors have alleged for years that her husband, Barry Morphew, shot her with a tranquilizer before killing her. Barry Morphew was arrested in 2021 while his wife was still missing. Then the murder charges against him were dropped just days before the case was set to go to trial. At this point, Barry is a free man and is not facing any charges. The autopsy report confirms that Suzanne was found with her bike clothing in a shallow grave in Saguache County. Investigators believe that she went on a bike ride on Mother's Day of 2020 and never returned. Barry's attorneys spoke only to 9 News this morning. They're defending him, saying he's innocent, arguing that anyone could have shot her with a tranquilizer.
Barry Morphew is innocent, and he could not have killed his wife. She got up the morning of Mother's Day, had her cup of coffee. That is now confirmed with the autopsy report. Also confirmed with the autopsy report was that she put on her bike clothes, and we know where the bike was found. So she was on a bike ride and abducted. The tranquilizer that was found in her bones, allegedly, is a very common animal tranquilizer that could be used on farms or by hunters, which are people that are very prevalent in that area in Salida.
Barry's attorney also tells us that a bullet was found in the shallow grave near the town of Moffett, where Suzanne was located. At this point, we don't know where the case goes from here, though. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation confirms they continue to investigate, though they won't say if there is currently a suspect or suspects in this case, Erica.
And that's kind of the big question top of mind. We were just chatting about this in the break. Of course, this is a really big deal. Is Barry a suspect? Does this bring him back into the picture, Mark?
I asked Barry's attorneys this morning, is Barry a suspect, point blank? And they said they don't know. They haven't been told yes or no whether he's a suspect. An interesting part of this, the coroner's office gave Barry and his daughters the opportunity to go get Suzanne's remains and bring them home. I'm told by his attorneys that his attorneys told him, don't do that. We don't know if you're still a suspect in this case.
Wow.
At this point, her remains are still at the coroner's office.
Okay, certainly some questions. I know you're
back to that for a sec.
Wow.
We're gonna go back to that for a sec. Like so I happened to be watching Duty Ron prior to us going live, and I think Ed Wallace was on there as well, because I remember when I watched this before, seeing that Duty Ron was on and talking about it, I was like, when you're listening to the defense and they and then they come up with the most amazing crap out of their mouth, in a sense. And so I'm going to play the start of when, let's see, when she starts talking, this lawyer. Okay, let's just go back to her for a sec. Okay, well, I'll just play it from here.
Barry Morphew arrested in 2021.
Okay, actually, let's talk about something that makes me puke. That would be all three of them, to be honest with you. I followed this case, and to me, it was the most disgusting thing. Like, I don't normally sit there and think bad will of the children. In this case, knowing that I was following it right from the start, because it was absurd to me that on Mother's Day, this lady goes missing, this beautiful ray of sunshine goes missing, and the daughters are off camping, and he's off working away on Mother's Day. And miraculously, she ends up, of course, on a bike ride. And these daughters, instead of putting pictures of their mom on their Facebook or anything like that, or their Instas, they were too busy putting little pictures of themselves in their little bathing suit and short shorts. And it was, honestly, I just find them disgusting. To them, for their mother, Suzanne, who was missing, it was such a despicable sight to watch these girls as they cha-la-la-la-la, let's hold daddy's little hand, cha-la-la-la-la, daddy wouldn't do anything. So Lacey and Macy, I think, is their names. And it's the brown-haired one. I think that's Macy. Can't remember now. Macy. Let's just say Macy's the brown-haired one. Is it you guys? She was like daddy's girl anyway. And Lacey was like the mommy's girl one. Macy was like at school. And they had moved from Indiana. This is when people thought that Barry Morphew was possibly the bridge guy as well, because they lived in Anderson over there in Indiana. And anyways, it's not too often that I speak ill will of the children in this. But to me, they just are the epitome of who I would never want for daughters as their mother. And I'm just disgusted how, even with the remains of Suzanne, the lawyer said, "Don't go pick him up. If you're so innocent, you're so innocent. Would you care? You know, if you loved your wife so much, Barry." Anyways, you know what, Barry Morphew, you're guilty on every level in my mind, and there's nothing innocent about you. You are a narcissistic um, person who is just, to me, he's going to pay. He's going to finally, to me, get paid for the justice that Suzanne deserves. And I think that the children, these two girls, are despicable children for their mother. And I'm just embarrassed for Suzanne Morphew that here this mother's missing and that these girls couldn't even be asked to put their mother's missing picture up on their Facebooks or anything. It was, I don't know, it was, you guys know that have followed this case.
Mhm.
It's honestly, it's like watching them, like two girls with little big suckers in their hand, holding their daddy's hand, going, "Yay, daddy didn't do nothing. Daddy's so innocent. You know, tra la 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 la. Let's just skip out of court. Let's just skip out of the jail." I don't know. I can't even, to be honest. When it comes to how those girls have acted since their mother's disappearance, and you know that Suzanne Morphew, regardless of the affair, okay, I'm not a big on affairs, of course. You don't have your cake and eat it too. But you know what? I'm going to give her a pass on this one. You know that Suzanne Morphew was that loving, caring mother who was with a controlling, narcissistic personality. Um, you can tell the two different personalities. Suzanne was that genuine, good hearted person um, who just oozed it. You could feel the aura of Suzanne. And Barry is just a liar, and his pathetic plea video for Suzanne makes me puke. And what are the chances that Suzanne, has some sort of whatever it was, three different whatever it was, dart stuff
Yeah.
inside her autopsy, and there you go. You got Barry who like what are the chances that in the dart or sorry in the dryer is the cap of a dart? He said he used a tranquilizer gun. He was just bebopping around looking for little gophers or whatever it was. Darn well that this man killed his wife,
Yeah.
because she was cheating on him. He knew it. I guarantee you he knew it. And
Yeah.
then, so if he propagated those girls going on a camping trip, to me he planned out that he was going to do this that weekend, Mother's Day. He's such a narcissist that if he can't have her, nobody's going to have her, you know, and it probably sent him over the edge. He's that man's man type of personality. Anyways,
Yeah.
uh,
I agree. I agree. That there
what
are
would I,
coincidences, and we all know about coincidences,
yeah,
but that is a little bizarre. Who runs around with a trank gun, tranquilizing gophers, right? I mean, like, it's just ridiculous to even
it
think
was
that.
yeah, it was some little varmint. I think it was gophers or something like
Yes,
that.
it was. I remember.
Yeah. No. Is it? Do you guys? Does my mic sound weird because I haven't touched it? Is
Yeah,
it
I
you,
feel like
Ivy?
sometimes it goes a little bit muffled, but it doesn't last.
Oh, yeah. Sorry if it is. I couldn't tell. So if it is, I'm sorry. Well, I can't do nothing about it because my mic's just sitting here doing what it normally does, just sits there. Unless it's some sort of weird connection. I don't know.
Chipmunks.
Chipmunks. Maybe it was chipmunks. Yeah, it was some little varmint that was down there. It's better now. It did something weird for a bit. Okay.
Either
Well,
way, men are not going to tranquilize chipmunks, gophers,
I
whatever.
know.
They're
Okay.
just not. They're just not.
You know, and
They're
so
just
well let's play this part again where, like I said, where she's
While
talking.
his wife was still missing. Then the murder charges against him were dropped just days before the case was set to go to trial. At this point, Barry is a free man and is
Yeah,
not
not for
facing any
long, dude.
charges. The autopsy report confirms that Suzanne was found with her bike clothing in a shallow grave in Saguache County. Investigators believe that she went on a bike ride on Mother's Day of 2020 and never
Didn't.
returned. Barry's attorneys spoke only to 9 News this morning. They're defending him, saying he's innocent,
Thank heavens,
arguing
here.
that anyone could have shot her with a tranquilizer.
Barry Morphew is innocent
Okay.
and he could not have killed his wife. She got up the morning of Mother's Day, had her cup of coffee. That is now confirmed with the autopsy report.
Okay, so right then and there, okay? So it, like Ed Wallace said, there was nothing confirming anything about a cup of coffee in her system. There would be you wouldn't even know because it was just skeletal remains. So it's like,
What does that have to do with anything? She could have had a cup of coffee and then.
well, I was gonna say, so who confirmed that? Because did Suzanne jump out of her grave and confirm that she had coffee that morning? And she's saying, because like I said, Ed Wallace is like, there's nothing in the report saying that. But and then she's like, okay, then you go to the next part.
Also confirmed with the autopsy report was that she put on her bike clothes.
Yeah. Also confirmed with the autopsy report was that she put on her bike clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe she was dressed by Barry Morphew, who wanted to make it seem like Suzanne went on a bike ride. Like that, it's just honestly.
Or maybe she had her coffee in the morning and put on her bike clothes to go for a bike ride, and then she was accosted
Possibly.
outside with a tranquilizer gun. Like none of this makes any difference to.
Right.
Barry Morphew, he's on his way off to Broomfield over there.
Right. Maybe, when she was on the phone with her boyfriend, she had her bike clothes on and she was drinking a cup of coffee, and then she went, oops, Barry's home, gotta go. And then before you know it, he's shooting her with a tranquilizer dart. Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Well, that's what gets me is when she goes, and allegedly about the tranquil. No, there's no allegedly about it. The autopsy report is back. But anyways, listen.
And there was a tranquilizer dart found in the dryer.
I know. It's almost embarrassing listening to her.
And we know where the bike
A
was
plus
found.
B equals Barry
she was
Morphew.
on a bike ride and abducted. The tranquilizer that was found in her bones, allegedly, is a very common animal tranquilizer that could be used on farms or by hunters, which are people that are very prevalent in that area in Salida.
Yeah.
Barry's attorney also tells us that
targets of spousal abuse if you choose to attack your wife with them. They're very common.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like listening to other cases when the defense, it's just that honestly, when I just initially watched it before anything, I was just like, lady, you sound so stupid right now. Like me, and it's even the way that she's delivering it. It's just like, and yeah, the autopsy report confirms that this, she wasn't even saying it fluently. I don't know. It was almost weird, actually, the way she was showing herself there. I don't know. It was.
I'd like to see that autopsy report.
Oh, it's right here. I have it.
Is it? This is the actual medical report?
Yeah.
So where in this would she have gotten the stomach contents?
Right. Right. So let me just make
because she's got to be going off the same information we are. If it's in this report, where?
Absolutely.
Because I'm very curious how they find coffee on skeletal remains.
Well, that's just it, and that's why when I was listening to Ed Wallace, that's exactly what they were saying. The autopsy report's not going to show that because it's just bones and fabric. But there's it's like had they have found the bodies a lot sooner,
right.
Within weeks or months, it could have been a different story.
Right. It says C toxicology report, so I guess I don't know. Maybe there was I don't know.
Yeah. Can you see that enough to read it?
Yeah. I'm an inch away from my iPad, but yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can't pronounce half the words, but
yeah.
So the bike clothing that makes sense because I assumed when I read it that meant that they found her bike clothing in the shallow grave she was buried in.
Right.
So that to me is not that's easily deduced. Postmortem toxicology of femoral trabecular. I don't even know what bone that is.
Which one is? Where are you?
E. I'm reading E.
Oh, you're down to E. Oh, trabecular. Yeah.
I don't know what bone that is. See toxicology reports. Positive DNA identifications, right and left femurs. Clinic.
Yeah. This is. I know
So the
that.
chemotherapy makes sense because she was a breast cancer survivor.
Yeah.
Died as a result of homicide by. Sorry, guys, I hadn't read this yet. By means.
Well, read it. Read where it says.
Based upon the information provided to me at the time of the report, it is my opinion that Suzanne Morphew, a 52-year-old adult white female, died as a result of homicide by unspecified means in the setting of, and this is where I can no longer pronounce words,
Right.
butyrophenol, azerpinine, metrum. I'm not even going to try.
I miss you so
Intoxication.
much, Aspen. That's so funny.
These drugs are marketed as a compound injectable chemical immobilizer for wildlife, providing pharmacologically reversible analgesia, sedation, and immobilization. If more information becomes available, this report may be amended. Manner of death, homicide. So I saw nothing that would indicate coffee.
Right.
But again, it's a very small factor in the whole thing. Like, who cares, right?
Of course she had coffee in the morning. Like, I think I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't have coffee in the morning.
That's why you're so grumpy all the time.
That's
Is that
right.
what it was? Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
So right here it says submitted were 3 large paper bags containing bones, 7 brown paper bags containing clothing, and 7 envelopes containing items to be described. The submitted items are radiographed. Okay. Go ahead.
Jane Doe, R and 17, County Day 1. But the 3 bags contain multiple human and non-human non-human bones and fragments, dirt, and a wood fragment. The submitted bone, that's odd to me. Sorry. So her bones were mixed with non-human bones and
I think
fragments?
that they're talking about the bugs.
Right. The submitted human bones include the skull with mandible, sacrum, multiple ribs, bilateral radii,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Mandarum and sternum, right scapula, clavicle, and left femora, right and left tibia, fibula, multiple vertebrae. None of the bones bear any residual soft tissue. Okay, so no soft tissue. The right femoral head, femur fragment, and femur head is retained for toxicology testing prior to release for forensic anthropology examination. Submitted is an envelope labeled Purple Device Grave. This envelope contains a dirt-covered purple medical port labeled 6328. 7 brown paper bags remain in the custody of CBI and contain a pale pattern baklava, a pink and light color leather work glove, a light colored partial padded bra, a ripped dark blue and gray hooded sweatshirt labeled Crested Butte, a torn green Nike tank top, Yeti shorts, and a fabric fragment. The clothing and fabric fragment are all weathered and covered in dirt. All paper bags are labeled respective to their contents. 6 envelopes remain in the custody of CBI, containing 5 fabric fragments and 1 weathered bullet.
Yeah.
And are labeled as such. A weathered bullet. Was it fired?
Right.
Evidence. The medical device is released to the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office on 9/27/2023. A disc of 2 x-rays is released to Dr. Kim Look on 9/28/2023. TA11 possible bones and TA12 bones are received on 9/29/2023 from CBI to be included with the collection of skeletal remains subsequently released to Dr. Diane France. After receipt of the remains back to El Paso County Coroner's Office, these packages appear to have contained probable rocks. Okay, well, thanks. 3 teeth are released to CBI on 10/3/2023 for DNA testing. The skeletal remains are released to Dr. Diane France for forensic anthropology examination on 10/3/2023 and returned to the El Paso County Coroner's Office on 12/27/2023. 1 paper bag containing 4 packets, botany, bug, and 2 packets from hoodie are received on 1/16/2024 from Dr. Diane France. On 1/17/2024, the femurs are sectioned at the proximal and distal metaphyses for toxicology and DNA samples. Right femur proximal, right femur distal, left femur proximal, left femur distal. Distal femurs are released to CBI on 1/22/2024 for DNA testing, returned to the El Paso County Coroner's Office on 4/3/2024, and re-released to the CBI on 4/5/2024.
I think that was it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was boring.
It was fascinating.
Yes, it was fascinating. And Ivy, she was found in a shallow grave.
Yeah, like, I mean, we suck at trying to say any words that are to do really for the most. You struggle always saying balaclava. That one. That's one word I know.
Balaclava? Yeah, I do. Because I want to say baklava.
Was she? Yeah, murder in the open. She was, in a shallow grave. Balaclava. Yeah. So when Ed Wallace, he was talking about the bugs, because I know Duty Ron said, like, well, what about like the bugs? And he said, well, perhaps like the bugs could give kind of like when she was put in there, because obviously the bugs, determining on their lifespan and their skeletal little remains themselves, could possibly determine more of an approximate date of when she was placed there, is
Right,
what I heard him say.
But bugs don't have bones. So where were the non-human bones?
So I was gonna say, well, so really bugs don't have bones? No?
No.
Non-human bones could have been the chipmunks that he was aiming for.
Maybe Barry would be like, well, yeah, I mean, I did do it, but I also got 2 chipmunks.
Yeah, it was chipmunks, I think, now that it was.
Oh my
it was chipmunks. Yeah. Anyways, what do you guys think? You guys think Barry's going to be charged sometime soon? On Duty Ron, they were talking about the secret, like the grand jury.
Right.
Yeah.
Has there been any indication of a new grand jury?
Well, I'm just going by what Duty Ron and Ed Wallace were talking about, that they wouldn't be surprised if there's a secret grand jury as we speak, type of thing.
Right. Kind of like we saw with Karina McCracken's case. No one saw any movement with that case, and then all of a sudden here came this grand jury that no one knew had happened because they came across Flint Farmer. I would agree with them. I would not be surprised if there is something happening as we speak, because sorry, Barry, there was a tranquilizer thing found in the dryer, and
I know,
and there was also a tranquilizer found in Suzanne's bone. So
I know, right, because at the end of the day, it's still going to be like, if there's enough to move forward with it. And Sherry, we know where she was found. However you say that word, in back months ago, We know exactly where the grave was, in a sense, or the shallow grave was in that Seguachi, Seg, Seg, yeah, that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know where it was found, and there was something. So there was like a gun found in that area too. I remember. So we'll have. Oh,
Miranda. Yeah.
works, Jermaine.
Thank you so much, Miranda. 5 months. Love It's a Crime and Shame. Sunny, Adam, and Charmaine. Never heard of the other two, but thank you so much, Miranda.
Miranda likes me best.
The bullet though was interesting. I do have to say. I mean,
Sorry,
like,
coughing fit.
so now we have non-human bones and a bullet.
Yeah. Um, I think. Sorry, Barry. I think your days are actually numbered. Like I always
I
feel
agree.
like Suzanne was gonna get her justice. I feel like this is the time for it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if Suzanne is gonna get justice,
I gotta be right back.
oh, you're fine. I would say that that the cards are more in favor of Suzanne getting her justice than they have publicly been known to have been previously.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a welcome surprise today when I heard it. As sad as it is, of course.
But it's that, to me, it seems one step closer to justice.
Right. And something that, in my opinion, obviously ties Barry to Suzanne's last known activities and whereabouts. And you know what? She didn't shoot herself with a tranquilizer and then put the clothes in the dryer. So
Exactly.
the only person in that house that weekend was Barry, because the girls weren't there. So unless there's a third party odorous connection and there were runes found at the scene, then I'd say all signs point to Barry.
Stop that right now. That's not funny. Because it could be. What, we don't know.
Maybe Barry is an odinist.
Wouldn't doubt it. He's from Indiana.
Yes, he is.
Could have been. Same.
Yes, Barry did. Miranda, you're right. Barry did claim in a statement that Suzanne was abducted by someone else. But it's very odd for abductors to do laundry of the person they abduct after the fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To me, the tranquilizer, the pings or whatever, it's too much.
Yep.
It's too much. And now with that found in her system, it's too much.
For allegedly and entertainment purposes only, of course, automatically suspected Barry of being who Barry is. Mm-hmm. The second I first came across this case, which was when I watched the body cam footage from the police finding the bicycle and Barry directing the entire thing like he was a movie director.
That's right.
Oh, no, look over here. And sadly, there were a lot of mistakes made during that part of that investigation. But yeah, Barry Morphew does not fool me. He never has. He never will. And I've gotta hope that there's a grand jury out there that he also does not fool.
And yeah, and like Sunny was saying earlier, that whole plea for his wife's safe return was just so transparent.
We gotta remember they were in a loving, committed relationship with no problems whatsoever.
I mean, it was just, I think he has been sleeping quite well, but I think things are going to change now for him. Yeah.
I mean, he was so tired that he got to that job site that day and went into the hotel. Never went to work. Was in the hotel for a few hours.
And didn't he take different garbage bags to different?
Yes, yeah.
Like,
There
I
was a
mean,
strong smell of a chemical cleaner, later. And then he just left and then came home. Never actually did go to work that day.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Well, so
if anyone ever wants if anyone needs a lesson in who not to put your romantic faith in, watch the actions of Barry Morphew.
Yeah. So, Stefan, from what I understand, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in this autopsy report, doesn't it say, or somewhere it said, that this tranquilizer is used to sedate animals such as elephants?
Yeah.
So I suspect, because to penetrate the skin of an elephant, you have to think that's got to be a pretty intense needle.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be a small dart. Like,
Right, which tracks with the tranquilizer dart that was found in the dryer, because we knew previously that was a would have been overkill if you were just shooting chipmunks.
right. And nobody tranquilizes chipmunks. They just don't.
And I don't remember the specifics, but we knew there were some specifications, like from when Suzanne first went missing, and that was found in the dryer, as to the type of things that would be used to tranquilize, and it tracks with the medicine that has now been found in the autopsy, allegedly for entertainment purposes only.
Right.
Sherry, wasn't there some other male DNA found somewhere? Yes, there was. I believe it. Sorry, Sonny, go ahead.
No, but I was just on. The glove.
You know more than I.
Yeah, it was on the. It was in her vehicle on the glove compartment box. There was undetermined male DNA, and it went back to some sort of Peter.
Yep.
That's what I remember from that.
Right. SP says he admitted he used them on the deer. Yeah. Barry is a real winner. He also admitted to cutting the horns off of deer and poaching them, selling them.
Well, I think this time life is going to come bite him in the ass exactly where it belongs, and he should be where he belonged the first time around. But sometimes life throws these little curveballs, in a sense. But I always felt like Suzanne's going to get her justice, and I really feel like this time Suzanne's going to get her justice. And sorry, girls, Daddy ain't going to be there for you anymore. Yeah. Suck it up, buttercups. Like I said, just.
You know what's crazy to think, Sonny? It's 11 days from the 4-year anniversary of her going missing.
Yeah, apparently it's her birthday tomorrow, but I wouldn't have remembered that, to be honest with you.
Oh, the 30th is her birthday?
Yeah, according to, I think it was, who put it up there, Sherry?
I did not figure Suzanne for an Aries. Wow.
Taurus.
Oh, Taurus. I'm sorry. You're right. Thank you. I'm sorry. That makes more sense.
Carrie Dean said it. She was born on her sister Melinda's 15th birthday.
You're right. I do remember that now.
Yeah. Anyways,
I will pray for those girls, even though I think that I don't think they have been the best advocates for their mother's memory. I will pray for those girls, because at the end of the day, I think they've got a piece of shit dad, and their poor mom is gone.
Yeah. You can pray for me then.
I'll pray for you too.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness.
I have compassion where compassion is deserved, and I just, I watched the whole thing from, for 2 years and how it played out, and to me, cry all those tears you want, but they showed nothing, that they were mourning the loss of their mother outwardly. And again, who wouldn't put their mom's pictures if she's missing? Who wouldn't put their mom's pictures on their social media, instead of their skanky little selves, type of thing.
Sonny, that doesn't sound very Christian of you.
It's not. That's because I'm not Christian, so that's why it doesn't sound Christian on there. Don't get me laughing.
Don't make her laugh.
All I know is Suzanne Morphew deserves her justice. And we all know, anyone knows that Barry Morphew did it to his wife, and it's just a matter of the evidence to prove that he did. So I'm really believe that this is the time for Suzanne to basically, rise up, or whatever you want to call it. And to me, Barry Morphew should be exactly where he belongs, which is in prison for the killing of his wife, Suzanne Morphew. I like it's like watching one of those things play out where even the dumbest person should be able to figure it out, like meaning Barry Morphew's actions. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know when somebody has a dart, and then this autopsy comes out. I'm thankful at least that the autopsy was able to provide that. About the dart, the tranquilizer, knowing full well that there was a cap of a dart, of course, in the dryer. Because what do you think Barry was doing? Obviously, right? To have a dart in the dryer.
He was washing his clothes.
Of course he was, right? Anyways, I just want him to reap what he sows, and it's just is very sad. I can't wrap my brain around people that think that they're above God or something, or think that they're above anything, and to try to think that they can, like get away with it. He listened to true crime. Pretty much the story of the bicycle was like a true crime. I remember them talking about. He knew, darn well, he knew that she was cheating on him. He found out. I know, like there's no, to me, if, ands, or but, like for him to play this card, like, I didn't know anything. Yeah, shut up, Barry. Every time you open those lips, lies just come out of it. You're a narcissist beyond belief. And again, I just want him to reap what he sows and pay the price for it. And that will be the rest of his life in prison. I really hope so. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah. Karma always finds a way.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Okay, so we got to move on from this. Let's go for Delphi next.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. My connection's getting bad. Gotta go.
No.
You're breaking up.
Yeah. I don't know if there's documents you want me to pull up or not, or if you just want to talk about it, the things that came out, or what's kind of going on, the gist of it. I have no clue at all. Besides, yeah, I really have no clue, to be honest with you, what's going on at this moment.
Charmaine, what do you think? Up to you. I mean, I don't think we need to read all of it. I mean, I'm sure all 50 people watching have already heard most of it. So
I think
how about
you're
just the
probably
gist? Just the gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
You tell your side, and then I'll tell the right side.
See, Charmaine, there. See, there you go again. Like we're on the same side because we both care about Abby and Libby more than anything.
Absolutely.
And we have a sense of humor and like to mess with each other, but we don't actually really think that far off from each other.
No, not at all.
But I think we should probably just go ahead and like leave it up to Sunny. She can handle it.
Yeah, shut up.
Honestly, she has no idea. She'll be like, she sent a funny story, everybody. She sent a message today. She's like, what is this? The trial's been canceled or whatever. And it was from October. I'm like, no, Sunny, that was when it was rescheduled to May. She's like, oh yeah, right.
Hey, she's a working woman now.
That's because Deb put it in the thing, and I was looking at the dates, and I'm like, and then it dawned on me after I said it, I'm like, wait, this is October.
I was like, because don't get me wrong, I'm fully expecting something like that to happen if Judge Gall does not deny Nick's latest motion.
Well, so what? So okay. So let's. What is so today? So
Where's my?
today found us 14 days from the start of jury selection, which is scheduled for May 13th, 2024. This morning when I woke up to a lovely email from the Carroll County clerk with the motion for limine and the state's response to the second suppression motion. The motion for limine has been the hot topic of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a gist, what basically, Charmaine, is Nikki McClellan and the state of Indiana requesting to be completely kept out of the trial for Richard Allen?
In a nutshell,
Yeah.
absolutely anything that could raise any, reasonable or not, doubt that Richard Allen is guilty.
Well, I thought you were going to actually give factual information and talk about what was said in the filing.
Oh, you want me to
and not
actually say
your
what
interpretation of it.
I was like, nutshell is what I meant, and that's what I said in a nutshell. And I mean, it is. I mean, come on. He went so far as to list Ron Logan and Kagan Klein. He doesn't want to talk about them. Like, why would they? If they did, that would throw their whole Odin theory out the window. Like, of course they're not going to. Anything that would raise unreasonable, reasonable, bizarre doubt, Nick doesn't want them to be able to talk about it. That is the long and short of it. Right or wrong, that is the long and short of that filing.
Wow, that's a very
Bob Motta, pro Bob Motta statement.
Overview of it. I mean, because no one is saying that with given evidence you can't mention things in court.
Fair enough.
He is saying that without evidence, these things are a distraction and do not warrant the court or the jury's time to be discussed. And he's in no way in the filing saying that, you know, the defense cannot present a third party defense. He's saying you can't make unbased accusations against named individuals in a public courtroom, the same way I've been saying since September. I put it in a video in September, the beginning of September, that there's no way in the world you can just name these people with no substance and expect it to be admitted in court. And I think that's what we saw today in the filing, is that the state is saying you can have a third party defense, but without evidence, you can't name Odinism unless you have something to back it up with. You can't name Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, etc., etc. And he went as far to say you can't name Keegan Klein and Ron Logan because there's no substantial evidence that there's any involvement by those people.
Right. And in what world do we think that they actually would? In a world where Judge Gall says that, okay, you cannot use this third party, whatever, defense. You don't have substantial evidence to bring that into court. And then all of a sudden they're just going to change gears and go, well, Kagan Klein or Ron Logan. I don't see that because they're so certain in my head that the Odinists did it. I think that it was understandable, totally expected, but
Here's what
probably going to be granted.
Here's what I think that it was. I mean, I have said, like I said, since September, I think that it's a flaw of the defense team that they've hitched their wagon to the Odinism train because it's ludicrous. It just is. I'm tired of towing the line and being like, oh no, maybe blah blah. No, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Odinism angle is absurd. It's ridiculous. Patrick Westphal, Brad Holder, they may be pieces of shit. They may be bad people. They weren't involved in this murder. Ron Logan was not involved in this murder.
I agree.
And I think that, like I said, I'm just tired of like pretending like there's some substance to any of it, because there's not.
Mhm.
But regardless of, I think it's ridiculous. The defense has put a lot of time and weight into those theories. And I feel like the prosecution requesting to keep everything out warrants and deserves a hearing before there's a judgment on it. I don't know if Goal will grant it, but I feel like when you're making a call that would completely sideline the entire defense that the defense is putting up for Richard Allen, I feel like it does warrant a hearing.
For sure. I don't think there will be one,
And
though. Do you?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know whether there will be or not. I feel like it warrants one.
Mm-hmm.
So, granted, is that something that probably should have been handled 3 months ago? Maybe. Not 13 days or 14 days before the trial. The Prof Katie said no hearing, denied. I like to say denied without hearing.
Well, that is the proper wording, but this is
Right. It's my away message on my emails.
I think it's granted without hearing. I do. I think she's going to grant it. I do. And I didn't read the other one. What was the other one?
Oh, the other one was the response to the second suppression hearing, or to the second suppression motion.
And
you would not have liked that one, Charmaine.
Is it bad? Is it bad?
Well, no, it actually was not bad. I don't look at things in terms of good or bad, prosecution versus defense. I take the totality of what I read. Like when we saw the motion to suppress, the second motion to suppress, was that like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago? I can't remember at this point. And we read about, Richard Allen going to the Lafayette command post. Was it Lafayette?
Yeah.
I'm having a complete brain.
To get his car?
Being, and the whole Miranda issue and all of that. I only briefly read it because I said I worked all day, but it's really interesting to me to hear one side of the story, and then to hear the other side of the story, because I feel like usually the truth is somewhere always in the middle.
Always.
And when you read, if you read the defense's account of events that day, Richard Allen was brought to a confined small room with no window, with the door closed. He was told to hang tight while Holman went out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you then read the state's response today, they talked about how multiple times during that interview, Richard Allen excused himself from the room, was allowed to go out and have smoke breaks outside of the police station.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Made some sort of incriminating statement, which is, I believe, why now they want that suppressed, and then was subsequently arrested after the interview.
And I did say that there has to be more in there for them to want to suppress that, because there was nothing that hurt Richard Allen in there. You know what I'm saying? And I did say that last week when we were talking about it. There's something else in there that they're not including in this filing that they don't want to come into trial.
Right. And like I said, I think the motion in limine got all the attention today, but
Mm-hmm.
that the state's response to that second suppression, that was interesting, because you really did get a different perspective of it. Not only when it came to the Miranda thing, when it was talking about Holman conducting the interview, it actually even went as far to say that Vito, David, I think his name is David Vito,
Mm-hmm.
Was observing the interview. And I don't believe he was in the room. I believe he was on the other side of a one-way mirror.
Mhm.
CD and I were talking about that on his live a week or two ago, and he messaged me and he was like, "I told you someone was watching that interview."
Yeah, for sure. And of course, as an investigator, as a law enforcement officer, their word is believed, because usually they'll have notebooks and notes and whatever to back it up, but they've taken an ethical oath, and court of law is going to believe a law enforcement officer.
Right. But you know what? I don't care who you are. Your words should always be able to be backed up. So, like I don't hold Holman or anyone else's word higher than someone else's. So, if you, whatever actions you take, they should be able to be held up against um, any sort of argument or any sort of I can't think of the word. I'm so tired. I'm sorry.
Were you going with like debate?
Just any sort of I don't know. I like I said, the word completely escaped me.
My dog is howling upstairs, so
I hear it. Steffa says Aspen did our Aiken Festival. Oh, I was trying to catch. I did not see the specific statement, but there was, I believe, some suggestion of something that they want suppressed, having to do with an admission or confession. But again, I would have to actually go over the document specifically closer than I have today. Just sharing the information with Sunny and Charmaine and everything was a full-time job today, because there were like 5 filings.
there were two orders, or 2 or 3 orders, and then one notice
There's
of
an ex
appearance.
parte, which I believe was from Grizzly to Crime. And then there was the state's response. There was the motion in limine from the states, the order of decorum. And was there one more?
Did you say the appearance?
And the appearance. Yeah, thank you. And the appearance that was entered by the other defense attorney for Richard Allen, which is, what is her name? Auger.
And what role does she play? Do you know? Like, has she made a filing or something?
No, but it was funny because she popped up like a week and a half ago, so I was surprised when she just now came in with her appearance today.
Yeah, like I've seen her name recently. I don't know what I thought.
Yeah. One thing I will say that I've seen a lot of people have messaged me today that misunderstood the court decorum order that was issued today. It is not for the trial. The decorum issue that was issued today is specifically for jury selection. It actually says in the title of it that it's only the decorum for May 13th through the 16th, which is the dates the jury selection is scheduled for.
That's actually a pretty fair amount of time for a jury selection.
It is, but I think, but I had a couple of people that were like, "Oh, see, this is the absolute end all." She said no cameras, and, so people took like the things that she said in the decorum for the jury selection as what is going to be for the trial, and that's not what happened today. So the only decorum order we've had so far is now just for jury selection, and there would never be cameras for jury selection. That would be, you'd never see that in any trial.
Fair enough.
No, I'm not talking about you, Ivy.
I thought you were, because I was like, she asked, and I was like,
although Ivy, I do apologize because you asked me a question the other night and I never followed up with it. So I will review and see if you have all of those in there. I forgot.
Are we
And
done with that?
since court decorum in Indiana, I don't think they.
No, you're talking about outside the court, and there's no outside the courtroom.
I pretty much didn't listen to anything you guys said, even though I was sitting here listening to you guys.
Oh, you're good, Steve.
I know.
Are we done with Delphi?
I am.
I am. I am absolutely good with where we're at.
We good? We good? Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Okay. Sebastian Rogers time. You guys good?
Right.
We're good. Okay.
Yep. I may be on CD's show tomorrow morning. I'm not.
Oh, sick. Is he doing one?
So he said he was, but So
Okay.
if you want to hear more about Delphi, check out CD's channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. if he schedules a live.
Yeah. I haven't really been. Well,
You've been a
around.
busy girl, Sonny.
I have been. Last week, I was every day after work. I took an Uber over to my husband's work, working on the windmills with him every day. And then on Saturday, we were working Saturday. And then on Sunday, I remember he said he was getting sick because he said, Bruce made me sick. And then next thing you know, I got his thing. So today I feel like absolute crap. I worked at 6 this morning till 2, and I'm training on e-com as well. The first part was the first part of training. Second part is e-com, the online shopping part and stuff like that. And it's kind of like a lot. And when you don't feel well, it really sucks. But the day went by really fast, but I had to get up at like 4:20 this morning. And then pretty much it's in the chest. Yeah. It's all coming down from the throat was really sore. And it's just all moving down into the chest. So it's making me tickly and cough, and that hurts. After so many coughs, it hurts, Can we please talk about this pic? Yes, we will talk about that pic of Sebastian. I will bring it. Okay. Let's talk about Sebastian.
So, can I, really quickly before you go, Ben, I heard the same thing. I heard that Brandon Woodhouse took a plea deal. I don't know the details, but I will try to find them out. And next time we're live, I will. I'm sure someone will bring them to you before then, but I'll try to make sure that they get out accurately.
And
So, Sunny, did you get the other message that I sent you?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. I know. I said I wasn't going to do a live today, but then I was like, no, there's Suzanne stuff, Sebastian stuff. I gotta drop these as well. There's like 5 more of these to drop, so I gotta drop those gift things before tomorrow. So I'll just do it now, really quick. Sherry got one. Prof Cat, Kate. Lisa, Indie Girl, and Amy Michelle. All got those memberships. That was the 5 left for this month. So I had to use those up as well. So I figured, well, today is as good a day as any on there.
Because tomorrow's the end of the month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get your donations in. Kidding.
Yeah. We're just going to do this for a minute. Those are going to go off 4 more times. So I'm going to make Sebastian's picture bigger.
So what we do here, everyone, is we do a stream randomly a couple times a week, maybe used to be 3 times a week, sometimes 2. But what we do is we rely on the generosity of everyone watching. We bring everyone the facts. We show everyone.
Cut you off. I'm sorry, what, Gray Hughes?
If you like what you see, there's one thing to do, and that's donate to the channel. It's what keeps us going. If you don't donate, we'll cut the stream off immediately. I mean, it's exhausting to put all this effort and work in and not get anything in return. I mean, everyone. Gotta say, I'm very disappointed in everyone. Very disappointed in everyone. Can't keep going like
that
this.
was your interpretation of gray hues, I'm gonna assume.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea.
I was just playing.
Chris, I still like your JLR one better.
You know my favorite. You know my favorite one.
1 sec. 1 sec.
And I'm actually kidding because I agree with Greg Hughes on a lot of things, but my absolute favorite impersonation is "Hello YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. What's up, YouTube?"
I'd like to ask you, are those your genes?
Are they my genes? We'll talk about it tonight on a brand new episode. True Crime Investigates. Oh, see, we ran Sunny off.
I think she's coughing.
And see, I figured, no, anytime you talk about Grey Hughes and then Greeno in the same sentence, Sunny's gone.
I don't blame her. So yeah, this picture of Sebastian, it's interesting. Interesting. What date was that? The 24th, I think.
The metadata that you sent me on that picture, which I'm assuming was still just a screenshot from whoever posted it.
Yeah.
Which I hope to God no one would fake that for no reason. That was April 27th at 2:51 p.m. And the location is somewhere. Grandfather Mountain is the nearest location that's listed on the map, but that area of Grandfather Mountains in North Carolina, that area of the state is very close to the Tennessee-South Carolina border. So I'm not quite sure exactly where that picture is taken.
Mm-hmm. It looks like some kind of a trail parking lot to a trailhead or something,
or a hotel.
Or a hotel, I guess.
Because just because it looks like they're standing under an awning of some sort. To me, it looked like the kind you would drive through when you pulled up to a hotel.
Yeah, that's
check
true.
in. But who knows? I mean, that was just my take on it. But I have to say that that looks a lot like Sebastian, and I'm not easily persuaded to believe stuff without evidence or facts. But when I saw that picture,
I wonder what parents are saying.
What?
I wonder what the parents are saying.
I know,
I'm not sure. You know the first thing that struck me is that the angle that he's standing, that he's holding his feet at, because it's so reminiscent of one of the other photos that's been publicly shared of Sebastian, in which he holds his feet in a very similar fashion.
Yeah.
Like with the 1 foot angled kind of awkwardly and weird, and the other one extended. Like the picture to me looks a lot like Sebastian.
I know, right?
I actually have the picture that I was talking about.
Oh, do you have it? But
yeah.
Okay. So, he's wearing shoes, sarcasm. Hi, half pint. So I know, I mean, the black rimmed glasses, the hair, you try looking at that little piece that comes down the middle of his head, it looks a lot like this is either one amazing twin doppelganger, which I have seen many times of other people, where like there was this one chick in white where she looked like the epitome. Like it was like so crazy how much she looked like one of our best friends that we had in Vancouver here. And I literally had like even down to the permed hair. It was crazy. So either this is one like to me, I know, and all I can say is this, lady, you couldn't have like made the kid look at you,
Right. Or
If
call
she was,
or
yeah.
said Sebastian.
Yeah.
So Sherry says photoshopped, and that with today's capabilities, that is possible.
But
Oh, it's
the
absolutely.
the second screenshot or the last screenshot that I sent you, Sunny, has, I don't know who posted it, but she mentioned the authorities have the photo now, but she
Right.
was talking about Photoshop in there, and I'm like, I just scanned over it really quickly because I was looking for some kind of concrete information that law enforcement had the picture or something. So I don't remember exactly what it said about Photoshop, but something about the trees on the leaves behind him do not have leaves on them, and it's
But
April.
in
But
the mountains, in North Carolina, they would not have full leaves on them yet.
no, and if you look at that woman, they're not going to
Because
Photoshop a random woman in there that's wearing a sweater tied around her waist and a t-shirt,
because the area the area that the metadata popped up for this photo from, it's about an hour and a half from where I live, and it absolutely would not seem odd to me that those trees do not have leaves on them yet.
Right.
April in the mountains is not April, in a lot of places.
Okay.
It's just now. I mean, we don't even. I live in Charlotte. We're just now getting leaves on some of our trees, and they're even by no means mature leaves at this point.
Okay, so you had
And
that
I
one.
mean, they're talking about the clothes and stuff. Like that's not what he was seen wearing. It's been 2 months, guys. He could have got new clothes. If somebody
Oh,
has,
absolutely.
I
And
mean, his
shoes.
clothes
Yeah.
and his shoes is irrelevant.
Hold on a second.
But wow,
Look at those shoes, but look at the marking right here.
That's what I was showing you.
that's
Oh.
eerie.
I think it's the same pair of shoes.
I think it's the same pair of shoes, it looks like. Dang.
That's eerie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like his legs turned in. Like that's the first thing I noticed with the thing. The foot size matches, and I believe that's the pair of shoes.
Well, right. I mean, it has that same design.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at this one, and even well, I hope nobody's fucking with the Photoshop.
I hope so too.
Why
Because that would be
he?
so. Because there's disgusting people out there.
I know.
Seth said not his sisters. Seth said not. Seth, get your butt in there.
And the other thing is, you remember, was it last week? There was a reported sighting of Sebastian at a store in North West Georgia. Northwest Georgia is not far from where this picture was apparently taken on the 27th. I didn't put any weight into that sighting that was mentioned in Georgia. I actually don't even remember the details of it, but there was a sighting last week that was reported widely of someone that matched Sebastian's description in Northwest Georgia. And then not far from that area, Saturday, this picture was apparently taken.
Well, let's just go back a little bit and let's talk about some of the stuff that's been going on here. So obviously, most of you guys that are following the case know that on Web Sleuth, which is Trish, that it ended up being the PIs or whatever, and then and Chris Proudfoot, and then Seth, and then Gray Hughes, a little snuggled his way on in there. Okay, that was enough to make me puke. Okay, at first I thought she was talking about Seth Rogers coming up, and you know, Gray, he just had to put himself, you know, can I come up there? What? I'm so sorry, but honestly, that made me gag when I saw Gray Hughes up on the panel there. It's like, dude, really? You just got to just like, I think he pretty much got even booed for being on the panel, but honestly, dude, just, you know what? Just stand down a little bit. Keep your ego to the side. And he comes on there just to go like, you know, yeah, you know, for the 100th time, yeah, I talked with Christopher Proudfoot and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, honestly, I just wanted to Ralph and vomit when I saw Gray Hughes on it. I was just like, come on. Like, seriously, Gray, you just have to wiggle your way on there, didn't you? Anyways, you guys know I'm not a fan, but just taking that aside, you know, just Gray Hughes, just honestly, dude, like just it's just like that little worm that just wiggles his way up there. But anyways, and then Seth came on, and then Gray finally hopped off, and then Seth comes on, and then they got into this heated argument somewhat, and you knew it was going to happen. Like you knew it was going to happen. That Seth and Christopher would whatever, you know, like kind of like go at it a bit. You just knew that that was going to happen. It was just to me, it was just a moment waiting to happen. I felt like I was watching the Jerry Springer show vibe a bit, to be honest with you. What did you guys feel about that? Oh, Adam, I don't even know if you watched it. What did you
I have
guys?
not. No, I did not see it.
I was I was flabbergasted that they were both on the panel, and Chris was very angry. Put it that way. He was angry and defensive, and he wanted to clear up rumors, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to clear up rumors. It was just a very aggressive exchange, and I think that everybody on the panel, except for Chris and Seth, were very unsure on what to interject on, what to interrupt, and what to allow. So there was a lot of unhelpful back and forth, really.
You know what? A couple things that bugged me was when it's like when Christopher Proudfoot was trying to talk, is that then Trish interjected while he was talking, and he's like, well, if you'll just let me basically, you know, tell you. And then next thing you know, the PI lady interrupts him. And I'm just let him finish. Let him open his mouth like he always keeps doing, guys.
It was exactly, and that's what was getting him so angry, because anytime he would interrupt Seth, they would say, no, let Seth finish, but everybody was allowed to interrupt Chris. So he was getting more and more frustrated and heated, and I understood that. But he's just very, you know.
You know, Gray Hughes and Christopher she had Proud Food on there for the longest time, Trish. And I remember going, oh my God. And then it finally got fixed. Driving me crazy every time I kept seeing Christopher Proud Food. But anyways,
Whose live was this?
huh?
Who's
Web Sleuths.
okay, Web Sleuths. Sorry. Thank you.
True. But Chris and Gray Hughes, they belong on an island all to themselves with their big effing egos and their narcissistic personalities. And hence why Gray Hughes was like, I don't see anything wrong. I mean, back in the day, you know, we got belts and this, and, you know, like, meaning if there's two peas in a pod on that show, it was definitely Christopher Proudfoot and their egos. They just were like, I love you, Gray. No, I love you, Christopher. No, your ego's so, no. Yeah. Honestly, the two of them together have the same personality. I could see those two, like they could be best friends with their personalities. The thing that pisses me off with Christopher Proudfoot is you ungrateful SOB. You're asking for the help of the people, and you're basically coming on with this attitude. Okay, maybe a lot of it might not have been warranted, granted. But you know what? You put your ego to the side, and it always just seems like it's about Christopher, Katie, Christopher, and not about Sebastian. It always just seems like it becomes this whole thing about Christopher and Katie in a sense. And it always just seems like instead of Christopher going, well, the most important thing here is Sebastian, then quit talking about freaking, how these people are unjustly attacking you. You are an absolute narcissistic, egomaniac, controlling. And when you are asking for the people's help, you better shut your freaking mouth and you better tone your ego down when you want people to help you. That is the most absurd thing to me, is that Christopher Proud comes off like, I don't give a shit what you say, this shit, this stuff, and people are just saying all this stuff. And yeah, I'm getting angry. Great. And what favor is that doing you for helping Sebastian, at all? And that's what I don't get, is that Christopher, right, like I said, unjustly, I get the fact. But he has come off from the third. They couldn't even decide which interview. It was his third interview on Smiley's World. The first interview was fine. That's where you could kind of see someone taking control of talking. The second interview was on WSMV. The third interview was on Smiley. And that's when he was all, remember, Charmaine, that was the one where he was getting all kind of aggressive at the start and stuff like that. But he is an absolute dick. I can't even say anything more to that. Like, the guy is a egotistical, narcissistic, controlling dick. And when he even opens his mouth to say help for Sebastian, like this should be about Sebastian, dude, you're literally basically bashing people in a sense, and then saying, but you know what? I don't care if you don't like me or not. Help find Sebastian. Do you honestly think people are going to help find Sebastian? If you took Seth out of the equation and it was just them, they wouldn't have shit to stand on for people helping them, really, besides the bare bones. And that's how I see it. What do you guys think?
My big takeaway from it, and I might be reading too much into it, but if that's the dynamic that Sebastian was living with,
Right.
I mean, maybe he did walk away. Maybe he didn't want to go live with his dad because of the online school thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he couldn't talk to them about it because of that kind of dynamic, like I said.
Right.
It's kind of enlightening. Maybe there's no way to know because everybody's tensions are heightened and, everybody's frustrated. So
what I'm most interested in then, because I said, I have more optimism that Sebastian is alive today than I had in the last 60 some days. However, I still want to know if Sebastian is alive and if Sebastian is the person in the photograph, that if that's legitimate. I want to know how he's survived for the last 60 days, how he got to where this picture was taken, because he does not seem to be in distress. He doesn't seem to be
homeless,
the victim of something in this moment. So I'm curious what led him to leave and what led him to survive for the last 60 some days and what led him to be in this picture seemingly carefree. And again, that's just my take. I know a picture, you can't base too much on a picture.
If they did take that picture, like if that was a picture of Sebastian somewhere with his family legitimately months ago or whatever, like somebody had alluded to in chat, they'll know, like immediately. His family will know. Right. We'll know that's a picture from
this of course.
And yeah, and then whoever faked the metadata on that picture, what a piece of shit. Because how dare you cause this disruption in this poor boy's missing case? Because you thought there was a lapse in coverage of it, so you decided to make your own BS
lapse in coverage, people losing hope. Maybe he saw that Peter Hyatt interview with Seth and felt sorry for Seth, kind of losing hope there for a minute. there's all kinds of excuses, but it's still deplorable.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose to hope that this is real and legitimate. And the only reason I'm gonna choose, I'm not naive. I mean, I'm always skeptical of everything. But if this is real, it means Sebastian's alive. And to me, that's the best case scenario. So for today, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hope that this is a legitimate real picture and that it is Sebastian and that he's somewhere out there and he just needs to be found.
I think Sebastian is alive. He is the most hope of any case that we've followed, that I feel like there's definitely hope here. And the more we get to see a little bit, and you know what? Thank you, actually, Christopher. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, everyone that keeps giving us more insight into Sebastian Rogers' home life. So it was said that he didn't want to go live with his dad because of online schooling. And then Seth said something to that I don't exactly remember. Christopher Proudfoot has talked about the spanking incident, and I think kind of like what JLR said, but what was the incident that made him go to the teacher prior to him leaving the home, right? Like, Chris hasn't talked about that. He's talked about the belt incident that happened 3 years ago, but what was the actual incident that made that Sebastian told on him for, if it wasn't the belt incident that happened before Sebastian disappeared? I think Sebastian did leave, and it wouldn't surprise me if he left with the help of somebody.
Right.
And I don't know who that somebody is.
And like CJK said, if Sebastian left on his own, where is he? Hopefully somewhere near where that picture was taken, if that's him. How can there be no visible sightings of him? Still, I ask myself that question every day, how he could have disappeared on his own without being caught on camera. Somewhere, like I said, I'm choosing to hope that this is a legitimate real picture and that Sebastian is out there alive. And I want all of those questions answered just as much as you're asking them.
Yeah, don't you love how with CP Christopher is that when Trish went to talk to him about what he said on on Nancy Grace, he went to go answer it, and then he was like, I can't remember what I said, and since I can't remember what I said, I'm gonna choose not to answer that. And I'm like, dude, if you're not lying, you would remember of what you said.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, you should, if your story is always consistent, then you wouldn't have to sit there and go, oh, well, I'm not going to talk about it because I don't remember exactly what I said, But if you had a consistent story, anyways, I really, Christopher Proudfoot, regardless, I don't believe that either parent had anything to do with it. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know.
Here's a real easy question to ask Katie tonight.
Mhm.
Katie looks at this picture. Katie,
Yeah.
are those shoes accounted for? Because you said all his shoes are accounted for. So is this pair accounted for?
I mean, what's the chances? So unless this is photoshopped.
Right. I mean, granted, he is autistic, so there's a huge familiarity thing that comes into play sometimes with autism. So if there was a third party involved and they needed to get him shoes, it could be conceivable that Sebastian could have dictated, oh, I want this brand, I want this type of shoe, because that's what he was familiar with. So I'm not saying it's the exact same pair of shoes, but what are the chances?
What are the chances, eh? I mean, come on. I would love to. Has anyone seen anything from anyone of the Proudfoots or Seth about this picture? They should know right away if that is their son or if this is a picture that was old. Has anyone seen anything tonight from Seth or
Well, that's what
Christopher?
I'd asked Charmaine earlier today when she sent this, and she said that she hadn't seen any statement by either parent.
No, and I just did a quick sweep again. I didn't see anything. It doesn't mean it's not out there, but I just really quickly just now I couldn't find anything.
And Charmaine, what's the immediate question I asked you after that?
I'm so sorry, I don't remember.
I said, have either of the parents addressed this? And then I said, has JLR gone live about it?
And he had, and I did not watch it. Of course he.
Sorry.
1 second. Claire, if you could on T-Rev, what did Seth say something or? I did hear Seth earlier saying
Sharon
that.
said, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sharon said they are working. Seth said they are working on this photo. Okay, so it's being investigated.
Well, no, but it's still the guy should know if it's his kid or not.
Well, but he doesn't know it's not photoshopped either, though, Sonny. You know,
Well,
he might
right.
be like, hey, it could be him, but he's got to investigate.
I was gonna say, I mean, this would have to be perhaps from Katie's collection then,
Right.
you know, not Seth's.
There's definitely another person or kid behind him.
There is.
Oh, yeah,
there is. Yeah, there is. But I'll be damned. So if this isn't photoshopped, I'll be damned if that's not Sebastian.
I need Gray Hughes to locate where that picture's taken. If you can find Greeno in St. Augustine, Florida, you can find out what location that picture's taken at Gray Hughes.
And she thinks it's him.
Bring your Google Maps to use and show us where that is.
Okay. Claire, were they on the show? Was Seth and the Heather on T-Rev's show? Or were they just like calling in, or were they actually? All I know is, you know, regardless of any of it all, honestly, I've seen the drama. I felt like I was watching Jerry Springer a bit with the whole web sleuth thing, meaning it's getting stupid. And the focus just really needs to be. So don't get me wrong. Towards the end of that show, you know, Chris is saying like, Seth, you know, because Seth is saying, look, I need my son. And then Seth, Chris was saying, you know, what we need to do is get off and talk, you know, the PIs and us type of thing, get off and just talk. Yes. To be airing that stuff, like the dirty laundry that keeps just coming out, like what happened on the web sleuths. I mean, great for entertainment purposes because it was one of those things that you almost expected to happen. But should that truly be happening on someone's freaking live? Like,
No.
you know, no, it's almost embarrassing, to be honest with you. And to be honest with you, like I said, it made me hurl seeing Gray Hughes put his freaking little weasel butt in there and then to sit there and watch Christopher Proudfoot, you know, go off on his tangent. And I'm just like, come on, you guys can't deal with this stuff in real, you know, without bringing it to the public. Like I don't know. It's just to me getting a little bit ridiculous, like
so
drama.
And I agree with Half Pint. It looks like him. I do question when the photo was taken.
Right.
Because, you know, say there was a pre-existing photo of Sebastian. If someone then screenshot a picture of that, the metadata then would reflect the new date that the screenshot was taken.
Right. Okay, well, let's just read this thing first, and then we'll go to the one Charmaine sent after. Okay, hello, my friend. A local news, whatever, in Hendersonville saw this kid in North Carolina this past weekend. The resemblance to Sebastian is uncanny, and yes, she called it into the TBI tip line. Does anyone recognize the woman who he was with in the pink shirt? He didn't seem in distress or uncomfortable. My friend said that you could tell he knew the people he was with. This was a paid entrance to a visitor center off of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Well, there we go. So there should be cameras in the area and inside the visitor center. What you all think? So there was that one. And then Charmaine sent me this one by Nick Perez, or whatever you just call him. Okay, what does this say? Go ahead, Adam. Or Charmaine, whichever.
Update, see the second image. One investigator shared this with me after they put the original image here into an artificial intelligence tool. You see the results. It's not definitive, and my understanding is authorities are still vetting the photos. But something to keep in mind. Also, interesting to note, no leaves on the trees behind him. It's April. We already went through that. Okay, everyone, pull back on the reins a bit. I have been flooded with messages along with this photo supposedly taken this past weekend at a visitor center off the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. And yes, people think this looks like Sebastian Rogers, the 15-year-old who disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee 2 months ago. There is a resemblance, but difficult to tell from this angle. I can tell you that both Sumner County Sheriff's detectives and the TBI now have this photo. Since Sebastian vanished, authorities have received many photos of potential sightings. As in all cases, they will be vetting this photo. To date, there have been no confirmed sightings, so please don't jump to any conclusions. Some are already posting on social media that this is Sebastian. No one official has said that. Again, there's so much garbage about this sad case on podcasts and social media. It's good to keep Sebastian's story out there, and it is great that people report potential sightings, but please don't draw any conclusions until we hear from authorities. Trust me, if and when there's a confirmation or confirmed sighting or he is found, they will let us know. But for now, this photo is nothing more than another potential lead. I'll let you know if that changes.
Give me a second. You guys talk for a sec, please.
So
shouldn't it be a secret, in my opinion, anyway? I agree.
no, I mean, of course not. If there's a sighting, people are going to post it, obviously. I'm
Right.
a little suspicious of if you're aware that there's a missing boy named Sebastian Rogers and this is what he looks like and you're aware of that and you see somebody that kind of sort of looks like him. You guys in chat have said it before. Why wouldn't you say his name? Why wouldn't you get more than one picture? Maybe they did and they didn't post it. But you know what I mean? You'd want to get kind of a straight on face me picture, at least with his head up. Instead of, because at the same time, you don't know if he's been abducted or if by taking a picture, you could be putting himself or you in any kind of danger. So I understand that. But yeah, Miranda, like call 911, do something other than snap this
Right.
really nice picture, but it looks suspicious to me in that there wasn't more done at that time.
Right.
So, and the leaves on the tree thing, I think that's the only. I thought that she talked more about photoshopping in here, but like I said, I just quickly scanned over it to see if there was any information saying that law enforcement had the picture, whatever. That's what I was focused on. And did I see today, who was it, guys? Trev Time is leaving YouTube because of the stress this case has caused him.
Well, the average time that someone says they're leaving YouTube is about 16 hours. I don't know anything about Trev Time, but just from my experience, when people have a man fit and they say they're leaving and they're going to take their toys and go home, it ends up being about 16 hours.
It's, yeah.
So, again, nothing against Trev time.
I mean, I could be wrong about who it was, but it was Trev or Trev Time or T-Rev or somebody said and wrote a pretty good paragraph about why they were leaving. I'm not going to lie and say
Sure.
that I read it all, but it was somebody that regularly reported on the case, and I was a little bit surprised that.
But a lot of the boys can't handle the heat.
Yeah.
I don't even listen to that stuff anymore because that's like saying someone's going to quit smoking. Typically, that lasts about a couple days or a week, and then they're back to smoking, right? Most times. So that's how I feel about YouTubers when they say that.
It's like when someone says, "I'll never do it again."
Yeah.
Right.
You know. So it's one of those things that, you know, maybe in the heat of the moment they feel like that way, but it's one of those things if I was quitting smoking, I never told anybody because I didn't want to embarrass myself when I went back to smoking. So I never bothered to say I was quitting smoking because I just don't like to look like an idiot to the person that cried wolf saying that. So that's, like I said, how I kind of feel about when YouTubers do that. Most of them maybe mean it for the moment, but then within, like you said, within freaking a day or two, they're back, right? Because all of a sudden they start thinking about stuff and da-da-da-da-da. But everyone does their own thing, each to their own. You know, if you quit, you quit. If you don't, you don't. You know, the world still moves on with or without you. You know, that I do know. You know, just the way it is. So I don't know if it was Trev Time. He is very young. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Trev Time. Like he's a really good soul. You know, so maybe it's just getting to him. And like I said, but do I think he'll go if that was him? No. You know, because then you get pissed off and be like, I'm not quitting because of other people. I'm just, like my whole thing is that I do this first and foremost for myself because I just care about people,
Right.
Whatever it turns out to be in the future, so be it. It's one of those things, like I said, I don't know, each to their own. Anyways, if it is him, he's a nice guy regardless. But I don't see him leaving. I see him maybe just people, sometimes people get so invested in a case and he's put this case has turned into a lot of ugliness in a sense between YouTubers and creators and the different, drama that I stay away from, and stuff like that. Because it becomes about just missing the whole point, really. And the point is it's the victims that should matter most, but then it gets into stupid drama. And that's why it's kind of bugging me with this whole Christopher, and Seth and stuff like that. Like, meaning that it's becoming like watching like These Are the Days of Our Lives type of soap opera a little bit. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Bottom line is Christopher, Seth, and Katie should all be working together. Put anything aside for the sake of Sebastian, if he's the most important thing. But I just keep feeling like Chris's ego about himself gets in the way. Like, if he cares so much, Chris's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I just for him, I find he's humiliating himself because he's coming off like such an ass because he is an ass. And
Yeah.
I get the fact, like, don't get me wrong, like I understand his personality, but when you're portraying that personality to the public of your true colors like he is, that he's not the greatest dude in the world, and that he's this controlling type of narcissistic personality. You can see it, and I just think that, like I said, like 1 minute him and Seth and that are supposed to be working together, then they see Seth on a show and whatever, and then all of a sudden it's back to square one again. But it just never ever feels like it's been truly about Sebastian. I'd say from Seth's side, I mean, he has shown to me what the epitome of I mean, he might not be doing the most, amazing things sometimes on the channels or some of the things that he says, like, like the whole F off ordeal, and stuff like that. And again, kind of like Christopher Proudfoot, I get that you lose your shit at times, but Christopher, it just bugs me to no end when it is supposed to be about Sebastian. And I keep feeling more from Christopher's side that he just can't get over the fact of, well, the GoFundMe. Now, then it's about, that Seth was on this. Dude, it's not about you. It's not about the money. It's not about Seth even. It's about you guys all working together at the end of the day because of Sebastian. And that's the part that bugs me, is because Katie and Christopher really have not shown that side of, oh, well, like, we're just so in it for Sebastian. They just haven't. And
Right.
when Christopher is showing this side of him, that's a repetitive dickhead, and he's projecting that to the public. Like, I don't give a shit what you say about me or this or that. Da, da, da. Just help look for Sebastian. Great. Thanks. Yeah.
Right.
That makes people really want to help when you sit there and talk like that. Like I said, if you take Seth out of the equation, I bet you most people wouldn't even want to cover the case after listening to someone like Christopher Proudfoot. I don't know. That's how I see it.
I agree.
And I just think it should be about Sebastian this whole time. And it's turning into a bit of, like, I didn't pay attention to the last circus, but what I seen on the web sleuths, it's like, come on, guys, get your shit together now. Like, this is turning embarrassing. It's just get it back to what it should be about, which is Sebastian. And I'm really hopeful that Sebastian is still alive out there. I am. I feel like Sebastian probably did leave himself, or with the help and aid of somebody else. I really do. I feel like we would have came across his body or something like that by now. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
You can't hide your own body.
TJ says, Sonny, I just looked up Brimstone ATV Park in Tennessee, and the photos that were taken recently show leaves on the tree. I look back further at 4th and 12th-ish, and the leaves look like the photo above.
So what are they saying?
He says, I just looked up Brimstone ATV Park in Tennessee, and the photos were... So this is in Tennessee, these pictures?
No. This picture is supposedly in Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And Sebastian's from Hendersonville,
Tennessee. Same name.
right? What the frick chances are that shit?
I mean, you live in Canada. Everything is like Sasquatch. Blah, blah, blah.
Sasquatch Lane, Sasquatch Trail. And the photos that were taken recently show leaves on the trees. I look back further, 4th and 12th-ish, and the leaves look like the photo above.
In the geography of the area is similar, so it would make sense that the leaves are gonna be around, at the same schedule, kind of on the same par of growing in, but
Yeah, it said it was Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. Is that Hendersonville?
Well,
No,
that's why I'm confused.
So the Blue Ridge Parkway is a scenic highway that runs through North Carolina. There is a town along the Blue Ridge Parkway called Hendersonville, North Carolina. It's the same name as Hendersonville, Tennessee. Hendersonville, Tennessee is a suburb of Nashville, whereas Hendersonville, North Carolina is just a beautiful mountain town.
Okay, so that's why I'm confused, though, because TJ is talking about the sighting was, the sighting was in North Carolina, not Tennessee. That's why
Yes.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because it was at, what do we call it again? Blue
Ridge Parkway.
Blue Ridge Parkway. Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
What?
Wait, so
Oh, weird. Apparently, I hit big.
Anne said, Adam, did you say you can't hide your? Yes, I did. You cannot hide your own body. So when I think of Sebastian going missing and something nefarious happen, I'm like, you can't hide your own body. So typically, if you wander off and something happens to you, I mean, heck, they found Brian Laundrie. You know, you can't hide your own body.
The reclaiming gold infusions I get are made for thousands of plasma donations.
Sasquatch Street. Exactly. That's where Sonny lives.
Pretty much. Well, there's a Sasquatch right near a Sasquatch restaurant. Yeah. What happened to Streamlabs? What do you? Oh, is Streamlabs not in here?
Ben, don't say Streamlabs' name. They're going to show up.
Is Streamlabs not in here?
We're good without them at this point.
Did it turn itself off or something? I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, even Streamlabs not watching tonight.
Oh yeah, look it. It looks like it turned itself off. Stupid
Like all
thing.
49 people, Streamlabs like, nope, I've got other things to do.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. When did it kick out? I don't even know. When did it kick out? It turned itself off. It's like a ghost in the computer or something. We'll see if it kicks back in.
I thought
There we go.
a little quiet.
I want to know what visitor center this is because I'm looking at all the visitor centers on the Blue Ridge Parkway and none of them have rock formations outside of them like this one does.
So,
Like I'm looking at all of the because it said it was a visitor center along the Blue Ridge Parkway.
yeah, did you find anything that looks like?
No, I'm looking at every visitor center in North Carolina on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I've yet to find one that has rocks outside like this does. So I'm curious if this was Hendersonville, North Carolina. I'd like to know where it actually is, because it does not. It's not the visitor center in Hendersonville.
Anne is on a roll tonight.
Who?
Anne.
I'm too tired to read that in. Please look up
I feel like Anne's making fun of me.
Blue Ridge
she is.
ATV
It's
Park in
wonderful.
Tennessee, just for grins. Okay, what's this? Okay, what's this thing called?
Blue Ridge
Blue
ATV
Ridge.
Park.
It just says. Is that what they said in the other one? Blue
Well,
Ridge.
they said Hendersonville is right near the border of Tennessee. So I'll look this up.
Yeah, let's go find Sebastian, guys.
Are you going to pull up your Google Maps?
Thinking about it. If Adam finds something, I don't know.
Well, if we look up the place where the picture said it was and then compare it to where TJ is talking about the Blue Ridge ATV Park in Tennessee,
Well,
see how far apart they are.
well, I mean, if you look up Hendersonville, Blue Ridge Parkway Visitor Center, there's nothing that matches the picture that we're looking at of Sebastian.
Okay, Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge ATV. Seeing the same things pop up when I type in Blue Ridge Parkway ATV Center Visitor Center. The same locations pop up.
I gotta control.
And none of them have any rock formations outside like the place in the picture of Sebastian does.
All my stuff. Google Earth. I gotta close Google Earth because everything.
Why do you want me to look that up, TJ?
And how recent are the pictures that you're looking up? Because sometimes those Google Map
No,
pictures have outdated pictures.
these aren't Google. These aren't just Google like map. These are like like all of Google images of you know, people have taken pictures, their websites,
Right.
and you don't fake the geography of the outside. You know, the what's the word? The
Landscaping?
the landscape. Yeah, thank you.
Blue Ridge Parkway.
My
Where is
middle
that?
niece actually goes to college not far from there at all. But
Parkway, right? Hendersonville.
yeah.
Blue Ridge Parkway, Hendersonville, but that says Asheville. Blue Ridge Park, Cherokee, Henderson.
That's the nearest city.
Blue Ridge
Asheville's
Park.
like the nearest town. It's like 45 minutes
Well,
east
this
of.
one says North Carolina or something.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh my god! I keep clicking the wrong button. Stop.
Miranda, is it the Amber Alert page or the Find Sebastian Rogers page?
So yeah, Hendersonville. It's just south west of Asheville, North Carolina, and it says it's 3 hours from the border of Tennessee. It's not quite that far, but
I don't even know what I'm looking at, to be honest. I'm looking at
yeah.
Burger.
Oh look, you're looking at me, Sonny. I'm
Huh?
right there. I said you're looking at me. I'm right there.
Are you?
Yeah,
Where?
right in there somewhere.
Okay, hold on. Brent, get off of there. No, get off of there. One sec. Get off of there. Okay. So, where's this Blue Ridge, Hendersonville? Like, is this like the whole parkway that keeps going?
The parkway it goes. It's a really long. It goes all the way through the state.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful drive.
Cool. So, couldn't the person be a little bit more specific,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
considering they were there?
Well, they said, and they said they said visitor center. So
Yeah.
I looked up all the visitor centers along the Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. None of them matched the description that we see in the picture of Sebastian.
Okay. What does that thing say?
So that's when, like, I want to know where this. When if you look at the metadata from that picture, it is not in Hendersonville. It looks further away from it than that. So
Let's see.
that's why I thought it was like the outside of a hotel.
Okay, so this past weekend at a visitor center off the
Again.
Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina. I don't know. Why can't we have a face pick shot? Why can't they be more specific? Come on, this is a missing kid, and here's a vague area.
Right. So when someone said, yeah, Ivy, that would make sense. It would be about 7 hours from Hendersonville to Hendersonville. They say it's Grandfather's Mountain, but yeah, Grandfather's Mountain is near that area. So I mean that.
So where does he live again? Stratford Street, where? I'm drawing a blank.
I don't remember the numbers.
No.
Stratford Court.
No, Tennessee. What is it? Tennessee, right?
Isn't it Hendersonville, Tennessee?
Yeah.
Welcome Center to Grandfather Mountain, I think. Let me look. I thought I looked that up.
I had to send a join request, Miranda, so we'll see if they get back to me.
I just wanted to see. Okay, So that's like 5 hours.
It's like 7 hours probably.
That's not what it's showing.
Yeah, but I mean, but you're through the mountains, so it takes long. Like it takes longer to drive because you have to go slower through certain areas.
Yeah, but they account for that shit when they do this.
Oh, you know what? That might be actually. Thank you, Sharon.
What?
The Grandfather Mountain Welcome Center. I'm just looking at one little picture that, but it could actually be that.
So why wouldn't the person who took the picture know where they were?
Well, I would think they were.
Yeah.
Type in Grandfather Mountain Welcome Center
Okay.
and look at the photos.
Okay. Get out of my way. Okay, so Grandfather Mountain, North Carolina.
Yes, Welcome Center.
Okay. Well, Beach Mountain, Grandfather Mountain Overlook.
Yeah.
Grand entrance gate.
Does it say Welcome Center?
It says entrance gate. Nature.
Type in Welcome Center.
I keep doing. Oh, I do, but it's not coming up saying that.
Well, just type it in Google. Maybe not necessarily Google Maps, and then look at the photos.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be bossy.
Bossy bitch. Okay. Grandfather. What is it called again? Grandfather
Mountain Welcome Center.
Father Mountain Welcome Center. Okay, let's just see if I can get an address from this. That's the Nature and Bridge. North Carolina.
Look at the images.
Okay, that says Visitor Center.
Check your messenger, guys. Ivy sent a picture.
Yeah, I think it's the same one that I was looking at.
Okay, hold on.
Wilson Center for Nature Discovery.
Suzanne. Thanks, Lynn. So,
I didn't get a message from Charmaine.
what am I looking for? A message from Ivy?
Yeah.
Ivy, where'd you put it? Ivy. I'm not sure where Ivy put it. I don't see. I'm not. Are you guys seeing it? I'm not seeing it.
No, I didn't see it. Type in the Wilson Center for Nature Discovery.
Picture didn't come through, Ivy.
Yeah, Wilson Center. Yeah, that's over here. It's right here.
Look at the photo. Look at the photos for that.
Oh, now hold on. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look over here. That's it right there.
Look at that.
That's it right here.
And then, so look, so there should be another rock formation off. Yep, right there.
Yeah, this is what Ivy sent as well.
Yeah. So I think this is where the photo was taken.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Yeah, there's the rocks.
Okay.
Goodness. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon, thank you so much.
So this imagery date, you guys, is 2017.
Right, which it wouldn't have changed. Like, at least the...
Yeah. Okay, so that's where it's from. Thank you, guys. Thank you, team.
It says Sharon's the one that put that in the chat to begin with.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon.
Because I was typing in every type of visitor center I could, and turns out I needed to say welcome center.
Yeah.
But I
this-
still go back to the person that posted the picture. They had that Blue Ridge, whatever. They would know where the picture was taken.
Right.
Like that
Yeah.
is devastating news, really.
So this is it here, guys. 1104 Grandfather Mountain Entrance Road.
Yep.
Grandfather Mountain Entrance Gate. Okay, so anyways, this is it here, the Wilson Center for Nature Discovery. Okay. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Because that is totally the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Good job. Yeah.
I could be there in an hour and 47 minutes.
Okay, well, get on her. Come on, find Sebastian.
He's only two.
It's on the ground.
Yeah, Grandfather Mountain is off the Blue Ridge Parkway, Ivy.
Yeah.
The the funny thing, the area that they're talking that this is in is not. This is the same area that like Eric
Ivy.
Rudolph went missing in. That was the bomber. So it's a beautiful, but it's a very remote area.
Grandfather Mountain Wilson.
It's near the Appalachian Trail.
So let me ask you guys. So can they pull video coverage from there? Yeah. Yeah, they would have video cameras there.
Not a camera
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
I think I see a camera right there, right?
Yeah. Whoops, wrong thing I opened. Okay, let's see here. What time is it? 9:36. Gotta go right quick. Yeah, like this. It's hard to, I mean, this is crappy kind of photo, but those lights. I'm sure there's cameras there somewhere within the mixture of those lights. It's just really shitty picture here.
That's
What about the one?
100%.
1 second. Well, let's take a look at let's take a look at
What
this.
the interesting thing is, if you think about like what roads that's off of, like what would make them be in that area? Because I mean, is Sebastian just on a leisurely tour of the mountains?
I know, right?
Or were they stopping off here for a specific reason, like going to the bathroom, some whatever? Like, why would they be in this specific area?
Hey, what happened?
And why?
Hey, there's what's her name? Hey, there's Nicola. There's what's her name with Nicola Bully.
I don't even know how that happened. 1 sec. Where's the freaking thing I was on? How did that totally switch? Frick me if I know. 1 second here. It just switched. I don't even know. What the heck? Okay, let's try that again. But I don't ask me how that happened. It's like
Because like so that visitor center where like that's a little bit ways off of like any sort of interstate or something like that. If someone has Sebastian and they were transporting him somewhere, like there has to be a reason they were in this area.
So there's a post.
Just sightseeing.
There's a post an hour ago saying that Katie and Seth said that law enforcement's still looking into the photo, but that Chris has said that it's not Sebastian. I believe I sent it to you.
Okay.
But look at the shoes. Come on now.
No.
How do you have a kid that looks like Sebastian and then have shoes on that are pretty much identical?
Yeah.
Right. Or
That's
maybe
weird.
it was Sebastian and it was from 2 years ago on a family vacation.
But
Right.
he
But again-
doesn't, I don't know. Kids
Well-
change quickly, and especially 2 years difference between
Or
13 and
okay,
15.
6 months ago, whatever. But again, why fake it? It's just if it's not real, what a piece of shit to fake that kind of a picture.
No, for sure. Or even fake the metadata on it. And where
Right.
would somebody that would do that find that picture?
Because
Right.
I do trust Seth's take on things. So if Seth says it's not him, it makes me doubt that it's him.
Well, Seth
But
didn't say it wasn't him. Seth
look,
supposedly said they're still looking into it. But that was just a Facebook post, so.
yeah,
Katie and Seth said opposite of Chris.
Right.
of course. I mean, that fits perfectly with the last 62 or 3 days of everything that both parties have said.
Right.
Yeah.
If one says one thing, the other party says the opposite.
And Chris did say on Web Sleuths that Katie did an interview by herself. Did anybody hear that or see that?
We
Well,
saw
yeah,
that
don't you remember? You got to remember, like,
That little
By
one.
herself?
she was in a different room,
Yeah.
and Chris was in there, like, being like, "Don't say that, don't say this." But
It's not by herself then. I thought he meant like
So-
she left to go do an interview and he wasn't even around.
Oh, I'm
Seth,
sure
if-
he was around.
Seth, if you happen to be watching, if you want to, just let us know what your thoughts on this are, because I don't want to continue to go on and on about it if it's complete and utter nonsense.
Right.
So if you are watching, just tell us it's not him, and how you know
feel like
that you
he
know
must
it's
have-
not him, because I'm skeptical by nature, and when I saw this, I was like, that looks like Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
And unless someone faked the metadata, it looks like him.
Yeah. Chris said it's not him this morning.
Chris said it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Katie and Seth and Robin and Sarah all say that they're still looking into it.
Who's
Bizarre.
Sarah?
I don't know.
Is that Seth's sister?
Yeah, who's Sarah?
I don't remember who Sarah is.
Seth? Kate?
Either way, I'm proud of us for finding where that picture was taken.
You know what? Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, right? If it's
Eat
not
your heart out, Gray Hughes.
Yeah, Gray Hughes. Right, Sharon.
I mean, we didn't even need Sharon. Thanks, Sharon. We appreciate your Sharon.
Well, you know, I mean, what do you guys think at the end of the day? Do you think it's just going to come about that it's not him, or it's just
I feel like it's probably going to come out that that's an old picture, but I still struggle with who had access to those pictures and
Right.
why would they fake the metadata?
Right. F anyone that faked metadata to
Yeah.
make a picture look like it was recent.
Of a
Because,
missing boy. Like,
okay?
yeah, thank you, Happen. I thought Sarah was Seth's sister.
Yeah,
I agree with Charmaine. If someone would go as far to put out a picture and then fake the metadata for it, they got their desired result, because here we are talking about it. But F them, because how disgusting.
right. And we still would have been talking about the case without this picture.
Absolutely.
what is this about? Go ahead.
Does anyone know where I can find the picture?
Seth next to
The
the
blonde lady at the vigil?
Well, I mean, the vigils have been posted.
I mean, was
I
Deb at the vigil?
Mm.
Because there's a blonde lady, because of the blonde lady, and the picture was.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
So you think this is? Are you trying to see if it's the same blonde lady that's in the picture?
Trev or someone showed pic. Okay, so some people are thinking there's a picture that has the blonde woman that's in the picture with Sebastian in it previously. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I would like to know that as well then.
Mhm. Well,
You know,
all I
blondes,
know,
they all look the same.
yeah. Um, I need to go. I need to go make a
Yeah.
tea. I need to go because it's 9:44, and I have
Okay.
to work tomorrow.
Me
And I
too.
want to go make a nice tea. But think it. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, great live that we found the spot, right? Thanks. Go team,
Yeah.
go. Yeah. But now, if we could just find Sebastian, that would be great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just curious, just for the people that are watching right now, how many people feel like Sebastian is alive? Hit one for alive, two for not alive. Thank you, Anne. Hi, Michelle. Oh, thank you, Ben. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Maud.
Ben. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Anne. Thank
Hey,
you,
Chris.
Miranda.
Good Joe. First, it was thought it was his sister, but according it wasn't his sister and Robin. Only Robin and Robin. Isn't Robin like Proudfoot's?
No,
Wait, what?
Robin is Seth's mom.
Robin. Oh, right. I was going. Where did I remember that name?
And Sarah is Seth's sister.
I'm gonna stick a one in there because
Was it one is what? And
one
two
is
is
he's
what?
alive.
Okay, one is he's alive. Two is he's not.
Right.
I'm closer to, after seeing this picture, I'm closer to one than I have been in the past 60 days.
Yeah.
I just think that there's something so odd about this that I don't know. I just feel like Sebastian is out there.
You think he's out there?
I do.
Unless
Hey,
he's
Daisy.
unless he's trapped somewhere or a cave collapsed on him or something
Yeah.
terrible like that.
Cave.
He didn't walk
Where did
away.
the cave come? Where did the cave come from,
They've been
Shirley?
talking about caves.
Yeah. And somebody was doing a live stream and one of the caves like collapsed 10 feet in front of them, and it just
Yeah.
raised this whole potential scenario that could have happened. And aside from something like that happening where, we wouldn't be able to find him, if he walked away on his own, he would have been picked up by somebody for some reason. And I think right now I'm thinking that reason was to give him a better life. I'm hoping.
All I know is that,
Mm-hmm.
again, for anyone, whether Sebastian's alive or not alive, for any parent out there that has to deal with this type of torture of not knowing, um, is is just the most horrific feeling for anyone. And no, Chris Proudfoot, I'm not talking about you. I'm mostly talking about Seth, to be honest with you. Perhaps Katie. I, perhaps I don't like Chris. I'm so sorry,
Oh,
Dave.
but Katie, if you're watching, I'd love to talk to you. Message me.
Well, I like to talk to the jerk off Chris himself too, but I think honestly,
You talk to Chris, I'll talk to Katie.
I'll talk to Chris with my left hand and right hand and put him back in his spot and humble pie him, give him some humble pie on there. But no, I mean, you know, yeah, I just, uh, I just can't stand his. I get it. Like, no, he's not the poor victim here. Sebastian is the victim here, of some sort. It's not Christopher, who cares about you, to be honest, dude. Um, like I said, you can't believe hide nor hair what comes out of that guy's mouth. And I really just don't like his projection to the public. It's when you're asking people for help, you need to have some humble pie, a lot of it. Get over yourself and your ego. You know, it's a catch-22, but at the end of the day, it's still about Sebastian. And I always feel with Christopher, it's just the topic always keeps revolving around him, in a sense, not so much about Sebastian whenever he's on alive. It just seems like, and he's just, yeah, I don't know, can't st- whatever. Come on, Chris, bring your butt on up here. Bring your mouthy sister with you. Wonder if Sebastian. Okay. Anyways, I got nothing else to say besides.
I think we're good to go. So, Sunny, will we see everyone Wednesday night?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. See, I'll see how I feel.
Charmaine, will you and I see
Well, I
everyone
mean,
Wednesday night?
I'm game. I'm always game. I'm always open to whatever you guys want to do.
I know. Well, things.
Good to know.
My husband, we finished the windmills that we wanted to. It took longer because my husband kept changing his mind on the look of them. And then what? You know what he did? He went and deleted. So he put up the post of the first windmill, and he had like, I don't know, over 5K views on it. And he had a lot of people asking him. And he read somewhere where if you delete the post, will it delete people's comments? Because he had a whole bunch of people that said, when you're finished them, message me. Well, he deleted his post and it did delete all those messages. So all those people that he was talking with, gone, you know. So he put up his other windmills. But okay. You guys, just before we go, do you guys want to hear the stupidest thing that just makes you laugh? And I couldn't stop laughing. A person sends my husband a message and said, so what power source does the windmill run off?
No.
Right? My husband's like, he goes, I'm not even answering that.
Like, is it a trick question?
Windmill. I mean, it runs off of the freaking wind. And someone's stupid enough to ask what power source the windmill runs off of. My husband, I'm like, did you answer him back? And he's like, did you say the wind? And he's like, no, I just blocked him. I can't. He was like, I can't deal with that type of stupid, you know. Or you get those ones that are like, I buy 2 tubes for 200. No, dude. Like, you know, marketplace is a whole different ball of wax of people. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. I can't deal with that type of stupid. Is it for sale? Is it for sale? Is it for sale? Is it for sale still? And then you never hear back from them again. Why did you bother to ask? Why did you even bother to message? You know? Right. Anyways, it's a whole different ball of stupid, those people. Swear to God. Anyways, you guys have a great night. And someone will see you on Wednesday. I might be here. I'm not sure yet. But those two will, for sure. Anyways, tomorrow's the last day of April. So April showers bring May flowers.
It's going to be May.
Right. And again, as of right now, jury selection, we all have been waiting for 7 years for justice for Libby and Abby. As of right now, jury selection starts 2 weeks from today in the trial.
So do you think the trial's going to happen?
I don't know. But tonight, I am going to say a prayer for their families because I can't imagine if we're uncertain of what's going to happen. I can only imagine how uncertain they feel. And I just hope that they have some sense of security and peace right now, because I guarantee you that they're waking up every morning wondering what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, prayers all around. Sebastian for Abby and Libby, justice for Suzanne. What was the other fourth thing we talked? Oh, and then
Kansas City, and
Kansas
also
City. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I just said Kansas City, and also what was the other one?
What we said, Suzanne, Abby, Libby, and Sebastian out there. Anyways, you guys take it easy. Thanks again for coming to visit and stuff like that. You guys, sorry it's been over a week and whatever. Like I said, I've been in training and stuff like that, and just that stuff's in itself is exhausting. You know, just trying to. It's like a lot of information overload, and that type of stuff exhausts me. It's like reading instructions. I just like hands-on stuff. Anyways, you guys take care. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Wednesday, apparently. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Cold. We stand surrounded. We are not alone. Within my reverie, there's no